I'm going to become a giant in the entertainment industry despite the losses. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76. Coming so early? The wife pressed the light switch on the wall, making the room a little brighter. The two of them walked forward together and read the thick Employee Code of Conduct. The first article of the Employee Code of Conduct: the company will not allow employees to come in early or leave late, or other behaviors that seriously affect work efficiency. Well, not allowing lateness or early departure is reasonable. Most companies will deduct wages for being late for 1 minute, and being late for more than an hour will be considered absenteeism, and the whole day's wages will be deducted. Wait, it doesn't seem right. The wife was reading and suddenly realized that the order of a sentence in the first article of the Employee Code of Conduct was not right. Is this sentence in your Employee Code of Conduct wrong? It should be late and leave early, right? What is early arrival and late departure? It should be a typo. It's not a big deal. Let's look at the next rule. Song Lixin looked down. The second rule is that our company does not allow any form of overtime. When his wife saw this rule, she couldn't help but feel distressed. Her tone was filled with dissatisfaction with her husband's new boss. It means that all overtime in the company is voluntary by employees, and no overtime pay is given. You must take care of your health. Although the salary is high, it can be seen from this employee rule that the boss is a person who is relatively cruel to employees. How can a body withstand high intensity overtime all the time? Song Lixin smiled. The boss offers such a high salary, it is impossible to hire a money-losing person. It's okay to work overtime. Relax. At least Mr. Yang is different from other bosses who only talk nonsense, but don't give benefits. Although he talks about dreams, he is also very clear about the salary. As long as the money is in place, there is a lot of motivation to work hard. The wife also understands this truth. It's hard to find a good job these days, and it's not easy for her husband to get this opportunity. Let's take a look at Article 3. Article 3. The company does not allow employees to discuss work-related matters outside of working hours. After reading it, Song Lixin and his wife fell silent. If they could use their reading comprehension ability to analyze Yang Ruoqian's intentions in the first two employee rules, this one was really hard to understand. Maybe he's worried that employees will leak business secrets? The wife was confused and could only think of a possible explanation. Song Lixin turned the page of the employee rules and continued reading. Article 4. All employees can take 1 day of paid leave every month. Article 5. All employees must take half an hour to relax in the massage room during working hours, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 14-1700 hours, every day. Article 6. Being late or leaving early within 1 hour is allowed by the company and will not be deducted from wages. Article 7. If employees are too sleepy, they can sleep during working hours to restore their spirits and improve work efficiency. Article 8. All work-related expenses of employees must be reimbursed by the company and may not be paid by themselves. Article 9. The company will provide different free meals every day, and you can apply for what you want to eat at any time. Article 10. The more the Employee Code of Conduct was read, the more confused Song Lixin and his wife looked. Is this Employee Code of Conduct really correct? The wife's eyes were full of confusion. Why does it feel like a joke? It seems that the person who wrote this code of conduct wishes that all employees would just get paid and not work. Will an employee who works even 1 more minute cost the boss his life? Song Lixin shook his head, and suddenly his mind popped up the incredible entertainment areas and the extremely luxurious employee canteen of Kuiguang Company. For some reason, a very absurd and incredible guess emerged in his mind. Could it be that this company itself is like this? No, how could a large company that rented an entire floor of an office building be so casual? It must be that he, a newcomer, did not understand the mystery behind this employee code. I will ask my colleagues tomorrow. It is a very formal and large entertainment company. It should be that we just have a problem with understanding. Song Lixin said, and suddenly frowned. Why is there a burnt smell? Burnt smell? His wife jumped up and ran to the kitchen. The kitchen forgot to turn off the fire. Why are you so careless? Song Lixin was shocked and hurried over to help. It's not all your fault. I was so busy reading the employee code with you that I forgot to turn off the fire. The next day, Song Lixin dressed up carefully, hoping to leave a good impression on his new colleagues. Song Lixin had worked in a TV station, where interpersonal relationships were complicated, and he knew more about workplace skills than other employees. He knew that it was not appropriate to arrive at the company too early, as it would appear too deliberate or flattering, which would easily lead to the disgust of colleagues. Arriving too late was even worse, as the boss would definitely not appreciate an employee who was late on the first day of work. Therefore, 8:55 was just the right time. Song Lixin looked in the mirror in the elevator, straightened his collar, and walked into the office with confidence. Good morning, everyone. As soon as he opened his mouth, he found that the entire company was empty, with only a night shift security guard dozing off at the elevator door. Where are the people? How could such a large company still be dark and desolate at nearly 9 o'clock? If he hadn't seen so many busy employees in the company yesterday, Song Lixin would have suspected that Kuiguang Company had gone bankrupt. What's going on? Did they have a temporary holiday notice, but forgot to tell this new employee? Song Lixin was in a mess in the wind, at a loss, when he suddenly heard a question in a thick dialect. Nyan Kingren, are you new here? The night shift security guard yawned. In our company, the earliest employee has to come after 9:05. You are too early. The earliest one also arrived at 9:05. Song Lixin seemed to be listening to a fairy tale. They come so late. Aren't they afraid of being deducted by the boss? The security guard said, our boss doesn't deduct money for being late, but only for coming early. No one wants to be deducted, so they can only come late. No deduction for being late, but only for coming early. Song Lixin was shocked and suddenly remembered the first content of the employee code of conduct. The late leave and early arrival that his wife thought was a typo. Could it be that it was not actually a typo? What kind of company did he join? 8:55. You can go in. Sit down first. The security guard looked at the time and led Song Lixin into the office. Song Lixin sat on the sofa near the front desk, as if he was sleepwalking. It was not until after 9 o'clock that a sound came from the elevator. When Lion Ji, who had also just started working, came out and turned on the power of the company with a few skilled clicks. When she saw Song Lixin, she was stunned for a moment. New colleague, why are you here so early? Song Lixin had long remembered everyone in the company and knew that the young woman in front of her was her agent. She quickly stood up and greeted. Hello, Sister Wen. I'm new here, sorry. Although she was definitely much older than Wen Lion Ji, in the workplace, she should be called sister. And she was also present at the interview yesterday, so she could be considered her superior. It's okay, you'll get used to it. When Lion Ji remembered that she was like this a few days ago and couldn't help laughing. When the boss comes, let's discuss your live broadcast plan together. Thank you. Before she finished speaking, another voice came from the elevator. Two senior executives of the company, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking, came out and greeted Wen Lion Ji. Zio Wen, why are you here so early again today? Good morning, Mr. Yang. Wen Lion Ji said loudly. Yang Ruoqian always smiled and turned a blind eye to the flattery of his employees. He waved his hand and said, okay, you two come to my office to discuss the content of the first live broadcast. Chapter 77. Are these questions too boring? Song Lixin followed Wen Lianji and Yang Ruoqian into the conference room and was shocked by the grand decoration. Sit down. Yang Ruoqian did not sit in the main seat this time and casually found a chair and sat down. You two will be in a cooperative relationship in the future. We met yesterday and know each other. Are there any problems in the connection? Song Lixin, who had done his homework at home, answered without thinking. No problem. When Lion Ji, who kept in mind the employee code, nodded vigorously. Boss Yang, I still have some questions. Although when Lion Ji was present at the interview yesterday and had read the other party's resume, she followed the code after get off work and did not think about work-related issues. Now that she has just started working, it is natural to have some doubts. Okay, ask now if you don't understand anything. Yang Ruoqian laughed. Watching the conversation between the two, Song Lixin was dumbfounded again. Why can an employee take it for granted that the boss is not fully prepared for the work, and the boss also takes it for granted to express understanding? What is the situation of Kuiguang Group? Can an employee actually say that he is not prepared in front of the boss? In the previous working environment, even if you were not prepared, you had to say that you were fully prepared when facing the questioning of the leader, otherwise you would inevitably be scolded. Is this the working environment of a private enterprise? But from various news reports, the treatment and working environment of private enterprises are in most cases the worst among all types of enterprises. Is it a rumor? When Liang got the support of her boss, turned her head, and looked at Song Lixin, and asked, I want to know where I can see the program you did on TV before. I want to watch it, so that I can better determine your next route. Oh, no problem. Song Lixin quickly retracted his thoughts and nodded, but the TV station has closed down, and the website has also been closed. I only saved some local files on my computer. Not many, just a few videos. Is that okay? When Liang turned on the computer and said, a few videos are enough, send them to me and Mr. Yang, add WeChat. Okay, I'll send it right away. Not long after, the video was transferred to Wen Liang and Yang Ruoqian's computers. The two clicked on the file and watched it carefully. The conference room suddenly fell silent. Song Lixin couldn't stop the itch in his heart. After hesitating for a long time, he tentatively asked, Mr. Yang, Sister Wen, I have a question to ask, is that okay? If you don't understand something, feel free to ask, don't keep it in your heart. Yang Ruoqian said lightly, our company doesn't have so many twists and turns. If everyone keeps the problem in their heart and thinks of a solution by themselves, instead of asking him as the boss, how can he mislead employees with wrong answers? What if the employees figure out the correct solution to the problem by themselves? Wouldn't that be a big deal? Okay. Song Lixin said, it's our company's employee code of conduct. There are some things I don't understand. A question about the employee code of conduct. Yang Ruoqian looked up in surprise. The employee code should be written more clearly, right? Is there any ambiguity in the statement? No, there are just some regulations that I don't quite understand. Song Lixin shook his head quickly. For example, the first one, the company does not allow early arrival and late departure. No early arrival and late departure, no problem. After our professional calculations, this will help improve the work efficiency of employees. Yang Ruoqian didn't even raise his eyes. Any other questions? Being late and leaving early will help improve the work efficiency of employees. Professional calculations. Very good. If this is the case, then he really doesn't have much problem with the employee code. The problem may be Song Lixin himself and his worldview over the past few decades. At the same time, when Liang also finished watching the video, with a complicated look in her eyes, the programs that Song Lixin did on TV were just some very ordinary interview programs, basically without many explosive points, but they were also very standard and very stereotyped. If this kind of thing is used for live broadcast, it will be a direct failure without even thinking about it. But even though she had many ideas in her mind, when Liang was also very clear about her position and knew that she needed to accumulate experience, so she said to Yang Ruoqian, Boss Yang, what do you think? Song Lixin, who had been blocked everywhere, also cast a thirsty look, hoping that the leaders could give some constructive suggestions. Boss Yang, just say it, I will definitely change what I can change. However, Yang Ruoqian's eyes seemed calm, but his heart was already full of joy. Opinions? Improvements? In addition to satisfaction, there was no other opinion. Song Lixin's live broadcast content completely conformed to Yang Ruoqian's idea of de-entertainment. The hypnotic effect was stronger than sleeping pills, comparable to the magic sound of math teacher's lecture during class. The clear and melodious broadcasting style, the old-fashioned news broadcasting method 10 years ago, made people feel irritated just by listening, and they wanted to crawl into the screen and beat up the person who was talking. It was definitely 50 million, and the minimum was 5 million. There was hope that the last less than 5 million loans would be repaid. Sure enough, after experiencing a failure, the second failure was no longer difficult. It looks okay to me. There's nothing to change. Let's leave it as it is. Yang Ruoqian suppressed his excitement about paying off the loan and decided, keep your own style. We will prepare a set of questions for street interviews for you. The first broadcast will be held this afternoon. When Lion G was full of doubts and expected the boss to come up with some ways to turn the situation around. Unexpectedly, the boss gave such an evaluation and she almost couldn't hold it. It's okay! Exclamation mark. There's nothing to change! Exclamation mark. Can you really play the news broadcast in a live broadcast? A person with a logo, speaking standard Mandarin, asks a boring question to a passerby, and the passerby gives an answer that anyone can think of. Such content is not even qualified to be an electronic pickle. No, that's not right. If a newcomer like me can think of a question, Mr. Yang must have thought of it too, so his idea must not be that simple. After carefully analyzing the boss's words, he only recognized Song Lixin's style, not the content. So the boss must hope to create a sense of contrast through Song Lixin's retro style, combined with the question of the whole live, to attract the audience. It must be like this. After when Lion G figured it out, she relaxed and smiled. Yes, just keep your live broadcast style. The most important thing is the content. Let's hear how the boss arranges interview questions for you. After that, the agent girl looked at Yang Ruoqian with expectation. I have thought of the questions for the street interview. Yang Ruoqian said, taking out an A4 paper from his briefcase and placing it on the big table in the conference room. These questions deeply involve all aspects of ordinary people today, including emotions, hobbies, life, social interaction, memories, dreams, experiences, and family. So comprehensive? When Lion Ji's curiosity about these questions even surpassed Song Lixin, she quickly took the A4 paper and couldn't wait to read the questions designed by the boss himself. The first question, what is the most meaningful thing you have done for society? When Lion Ji, who felt itchy in her heart, as if she was scratched by a cat, saw this question and her brain suddenly crashed. At this moment, she had only one thought in her heart. Is Mr. Yang really going to move the news broadcast into the live broadcast intact? No, not necessarily. Perhaps this question is just the opening remark of a series of questions, and the prelude to the beginning of the whole thing. When Lion Ji calmed down and continued to read. Question 2. What do you think is the most important thing in finding a girlfriend? Question 3. What sports do you like? Question 4. Do you have a boyfriend/girlfriend? Question 5. Have you started a business? Question 6. What have you done to help your father relieve stress? Question 7. When Lion Ji looked at these questions, and her mentality collapsed the more she looked. What is this? It's too boring. How can the audience have the patience to watch such boring questions? There are no interesting explosive points, nor will it involve other people's privacy too much, and some questions even hit the biggest pain points of young people's pressure today. For example, contributing to society, relieving parents' pressure, or starting a business and so on. There are more only children in contemporary times, and the pressure of supporting parents is huge, and it is very difficult to succeed in starting a business. Life is hard, and you still ask what contribution you have made to society. Isn't this just asking for trouble? Not only is every question boring, but it also makes people anxious. Who would watch it? Unlike when Lion Ji's confused reaction, Song Lixin's eyes lit up immediately when he saw these questions. If it weren't for the fact that his agent was tightly holding the A4 paper, he would have wanted to grab the interview questions and think about them carefully. In the previous interview, Song Lixin once said that his dream was to go deep into the streets and alleys, interact with all kinds of people in the atmosphere of fireworks, and share the daily life thoughts of different people from all over the world on the screen. These words were not entirely to cope with the interview. There are indeed his true feelings in them, but under the pressure of reality, he had to give them up. After getting this high-paying and high-remuneration job, Song Lixin has been prepared to fully cater to the market and work overtime. And now, Mr. Yang actually took out such an interview question? Exclamation mark. It turns out, Mr. Yang is really supporting his dream. Boss Yang, this. Song Lixin was so excited that he couldn't speak. What's wrong? If you have any opinions, just say it. Yang Ruoqian closed his laptop. As a previous practitioner, you are experienced, just speak freely. No, Boss Yang, I don't have any opinions. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Seeing the new employee's grateful expression, Yang Ruoqian felt helpless. As for not being so, you are a grown man, can you not be so mushy? Yang Ruoqian kept his expression stable. No problem, pack up, we will leave after lunch break. Chapter 78 Interview. More updates are available soon. During the lunch break, when Lion Ji, with a confused look on her face, prepared her own meal and sat opposite Wang Ziqin and Shaoyuki. What's wrong? Wang Ziqin immediately noticed that the agent's face was not right and asked with concern. Sister Wang, it's time to get off work now, we can't discuss work matters. When Lion Ji had a sad face and ate her meal in big mouthfuls, I can't violate the rules set by the boss, or I will be deducted from my salary. Send it secretly, the boss won't know. Wang Ziqin was very curious. Send it quickly, send it quickly. This grand spectacle of secretly working overtime behind the boss's back can probably only be staged in Kuiguang Company. After when Lion Ji walked out of the conference room, her whole state was not right. Shaoyuki and Wang Ziqin were quite curious about what she did in there. Okay, wait till I finish this, it's so delicious. When Lion Ji put a large piece of fried cod into her mouth, took out her mobile phone, and sent the picture of the interview questions to her two colleagues. You can't report me. Report what? If I report you, won't our salaries be deducted as well? Shaoyuki complained, and couldn't wait to open the picture file sent by Wen Lianji. When choosing to recruit a new anchor, the three of them participated in the discussion together, and had a general understanding of what kind of anchor Song Lixin was. So when they saw the questions, that were so boring, that they wanted to fall asleep after reading them, they all fell silent. Shaoyuki was the first to break the awkward silence. If this document wasn't sent to you by the boss, I would have to use it to wipe my ass. No, it's too hard to wipe my ass. We're eating, don't be so disgusting. Wang Ziqin said twice. Boss Yang always has his own intentions when doing things. Aren't you the best at analysis? Analyze one for me this time. Since the last analysis was wrong, Shaoyuki has made up his mind to learn more and see more, so that he can better figure out the boss's intentions in the future. I won't analyze it for now. I can't analyze it, so I might as well eat. When Lianji gulped down the stew chicken soup, breathed a sigh of satisfaction, and said, yes, why not eat, while watching Boss Yang turn the tide. Just as the three of them wantonly violated the employee code of conduct and frantically discussed work-related matters. After get off work, Yang Ruoqian suddenly floated over from the side. He looked at the three people's mobile phones with a vigilant look and asked, what are you three talking about secretly? Are you doing something related to work? Are you sneaking around after get off work? Just now, I seemed to hear something about wiping your ass and turning the tide. In Kuiguang Group, doing work-related things after get-off work hours is considered by Yang Ruoqian as slacking off behavior and is written into the employee code of conduct and strictly prohibited. The three of them suddenly felt nervous, as if they were playing with their mobile phones during school and were checked by the teacher. They said in unison, no, we are discussing games. The three of us were just playing games. Hearing that they were discussing games, Yang Ruoqian nodded with satisfaction. Okay, very good. Keep up this work attitude, and you will definitely get a share of the year-end bonus. After Yang Ruoqian left, the three people who escaped death looked at each other and saw relief in each other's eyes. Fortunately, we were not caught. It feels like a battle of wits and courage with the teacher at school. Mr. Yang walks without any footsteps. So scary. No, why do I feel that the style of painting is a bit weird? In other companies, employees are afraid of being checked by the leader when they do things unrelated to work during work hours. Why is it that here, employees are afraid of being checked by the leader when they do things related to work after get-off work hours? After lunch break, Yang Ruoqian, when Lianji and Song Lixin took a selfie stick and a fake microphone for the interview, left the office building and went to the underground parking lot. Where do you think the interview location is better? Yang Ruoqian unlocked the car, asked when Lion Ji and Song Lixin casually, and asked when Lion Ji looked at the co-pilot curiously, then retracted her gaze and said seriously, no matter what, it has to be a downtown area. For example, commercial centers, snack streets, pedestrian streets and school campuses. Song Lixin said in more detail, now the weather is hot, and it's working time. We should go to the commercial center. At this time, the flow of people will be slightly larger. In fact, I would rather go to a place with less traffic. But it's too difficult to get away with it, and Yang Ruoqian has considerable confidence in this set of extremely boring questions he designed, so he didn't force the two to go to a non-downtown area. Okay, let's go directly to Kayanda Plaza opposite. There is always a good flow of people there. Yang Ruoqian started the car and soon arrived at Kayanda Plaza. After parking the car, Yang Ruoqian mounted his phone on a selfie stick and handed it to Song Lixin. Street interviews do not require too many professional photography props, and it is common for the interviewer and the interviewee to appear in the same frame. However, in order to make the live broadcast more boring, Yang Ruoqian still took great pains to design a blue background black text bottom banner for Song Lixin, similar to the news broadcast, and insisted on pushing the hypnotic attribute to the extreme. This makes it look more like an interview on a news program. When Lion Ji closed the car door and asked, Boss Yang, what should I do then? You keep an eye on Song Lixin. When he needs help, go over. When you have nothing to do, just play the role of a passerby. Yang Ruoqian said, Wang Zikin will be in charge of operations in the company. I won't disturb you, and you must not be affected. Carry out the first live broadcast steadily according to the preset content. Facing the first task of the new position, Song Lixin looked very solemn. Yes, Boss Yang. When Lion Ji saluted, order received. Go. Seeing that the employees were very obedient, Yang Ruoqian nodded with satisfaction, locked the car door, found a power bank, sat in a coffee shop, and opened the guild data background Shark platform to register a new account. Join the guild and other processes are very simple and convenient. Song Lixin quickly got it done. Goo 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 goo. Yang Ruoqian half lie down comfortably on the sofa in the coffee shop, drink a sip of iced raw coconut coffee, open the game interface, and plan to play 2 games before looking at the background data. I don't know how many viewers will be completely broken after seeing this live broadcast. Looking forward to it. At this time, Song Lixin's live broadcast room was already open, and the title was very simple and plain. Street interview. Years of work experience made Song Lixin not embarrassed to face strangers. He adjusted the shooting angle, took the fake microphone that was useless, and found a young man who was wandering around the store with a milk teacup in his hand. Hello, street interview. Would you like to participate? More later. Chapter 79. You can never predict how good the interviewee is at making things happen. The young man seemed not to have heard clearly. He swallowed the pearls and coconut in the cup carelessly, glanced at the camera curiously, and asked, is this interview of mine recorded or live? It's a live broadcast. Song Lixin seemed to have regained the feeling of interviewing others on TV. He quickly got into the state, and responded with a smile in a standard broadcasting voice, don't worry, things that can't be broadcast can't be released. I'm on TV. The young man put the milk teacup directly on the ground, and made a serious gesture. Can you cut out that part just now? What the hell is cutting out a live broadcast? But Song Lixin was a professional after all. He smiled slightly and said, the video will be cut out later, don't worry. Okay, interview me quickly. The young man was overjoyed. Ask any questions you have. At this time, there were already several viewers in the live broadcast room. Seeing this novel retro style, they actually resisted the strong sleepiness and stayed in the live broadcast room. Is the anchor playing Renaissance? Street interview? Don't make it awkward. It's okay to make it awkward. I can accept anything, as long as it's fun. Song Lixin didn't pay attention to the comments, handed the microphone to the young man, and asked, how old are you this year? 18 years old. Senior year of high school. Senior year of high school? Then why are you in a place like this? Song Lixin asked in a slightly surprised tone. The young man said confidently, because I'm skipping classes. Isn't it obvious? Oh, by the way, can you put a censorship code on me? I'm afraid my parents and teachers will see me and beat me up when they go back. This is a live broadcast. What's the point of putting a censorship code now? But since the interviewee asked, Song Lixin still put a censorship code on the kid's eyes halfway through the interview. Song Lixin smiled and said, "Okay, the censorship has been done, and you can speak freely next. Ask." After hearing the censorship, the young man breathed a sigh of relief, and even his tone became a lot harder. "What is your favorite sport in school?" Song Lixin asked. The young man thought for a moment and said, "Let's play football." Song Lixin then asked, "Is your favorite hobby also football?" As if he had received a guarantee that he could censor it, the young man was extremely arrogant and answered without thinking, "No, my favorite is football, baby." This. Hayek, an answer that can mobilize other people's emotions. Loek, you are dead, kid. Do you mind this video being sent out? Song Lixin is a professional after all, and he didn't laugh even at this time, and still asked in a clear voice, No, I don't mind, I can censor it." Song Lixin nodded. "Okay, thank you for participating in this interview." At this time, in the eyes of the audience in the live broadcast room, it was just a young man with a wretched smile, who said something shocking in an extremely serious and formal interview. Haha, this kid seems a little stupid. He only remembered to ask others to blur his words halfway through the interview. What's the difference between being beaten and not being beaten? I can already foresee what kind of beating this kid will encounter when he gets home. He will just be beaten when he gets home. What's the big deal? He will be socially dead when he returns to school. Do you know what is meant by being criticized in the school flag raising ceremony? Hahaha. I have a feeling that this interview will become one of the famous scenes of Sharklive. There was a heated discussion in the live broadcast room. Song Lixin, who had just finished the first interview, looked at his own data with some trepidation. I hope it's not too bad. When he saw the backstage display that more and more people were entering the live broadcast room, and the barrage of comments and free gifts kept popping up, he was immediately pleasantly surprised and quickly struck while the iron was hot and said, "Okay, let's invite our next interviewee." The barrage of comments immediately started to pop up. "Hurry up, host, I can't sleep at night. Please invite the next interviewee. Urgent." As he spoke, Song Lixin looked left and right and saw an honest young white-collar man. He hurried over and asked, "Hello, would you like to participate in the street interview?" The man paused, and after seeing the camera and microphone, he suddenly realized, no problem, little brother, do you have anything to ask?" Song Lixin thought about the list of questions given to him by his boss, looked at the man's image, and chose the question that looked the safest. "For you, what is the most important factor in finding a girlfriend?" "The most important factor in finding a girlfriend." The man glanced at the camera with some vigilance and said, "You can release the video, but remember to blur it." "Don't worry, we are a professional interviewer." Song Lixin nodded, and then said, "Why do you need to censor? Is it because your mate selection criteria are somewhat contrary to those of ordinary people?" The man showed an honest expression again. No, it's not this reason." "So, what do you think is the most important factor in finding a girlfriend?" The man took the microphone and laughed quietly but obscenely. "Hehe, the most important factor must be to hide it from my wife." Finding a girlfriend, the most important factor, hiding it from my wife. Even a professional like Song Lixin was stunned for a moment. In the words of young people, the CPU was burned dry. "Okay, thank you for the interview, see you next time, and wish you a happy life." After all, he is a professional reporter. Song Lixin immediately grabbed the microphone back, trotted all the way to a corner where no one was, and glanced at the barrage. If he continued the interview, he was afraid that this white-collar worker would lose his head after returning home. At this moment, as expected, the entire live broadcast room exploded. Okay, you're doing this interview, right? I'm following you. I'm curious about what's going to happen to this guy." "No need to be curious. Let's get ready. I'll go to the kids' table." Song Lixin looked at the skyrocketing number of fans and the increasingly dense barrage, and finally let go of the burden in his heart. No matter what the result is, at least judging from the popularity of the live broadcast room, the live broadcast effect is pretty good. I should be able to keep my job. On the other hand, when Lion G, who was puzzled by Yang Ruoqian's live interview plan, finally understood Yang Ruoqian's idea. When ordinary people think about whether a host can become popular, they always limit themselves to the host itself, but forget that sometimes, the audience who has a strong interactive relationship with the host, can also become one of the highlights. For example, the interviewees in street interviews, recruiting such a resigned reporter, making such a retro-live broadcast screen, and asking so many trivial questions. In fact, the ultimate purpose is only one: to create a sense of contrast. Leave the whole thing to the interviewee. So that's it. When Lion G figured it all out at this moment, Mr. Yang, so awesome. To be able to think in this way is truly divine. In the live broadcast room, the street interview program is still going on. Facing the overwhelming barrage of comments from the audience, Song Lixin coughed lightly to cover up his embarrassment. Ahem. There was a little accident in the live broadcast just now. Don't worry, the following content will definitely be on the right track. The barrage laughed. Good. Looking forward to the right track. The anchor only interviewed 2 people and let these 2 people die on the social level. I dare not imagine what the anchor wants to do next. Hahaha. The anchor's well-pronounced questions and the interviewee's shocking answers appear together. It's really funny. I can't stop laughing in the dormitory. More live broadcast accidents. I love to watch live broadcast accidents. Song Lixin thought about it and felt that the reason why the previous interviewees dared to be so unscrupulous was because there were no other people around them, so their true nature was exposed. If you find 2 people who travel together to interview, the content should not be too rough, right? Just then, a young couple walked over from that direction. The guy was carrying a lot of bags. Following the girl, the 2 were talking and laughing, and they looked like a couple or siblings. Song Lixin immediately walked up to them. Hello, both of you. Street interview. Would you like to participate? The girl licked the ice cream in her hand, was stunned for a moment, and then nodded. Sure. Are we allowed to release the content of the interview? The girl licked the ice cream again, and casually handed the thing in her hand to the boy behind her, nodding repeatedly. Sure. I don't have anything shameful to show. Song Lixin learned from the lessons of the previous 2 interviews. Since he was not sure whether the couple was siblings or a couple, he picked a more conservative question from Yang Ruoqian's list of questions. Excuse me, do you have a boyfriend? Yes, the girl answered without thinking. Song Lixin heaved a sigh of relief after hearing the answer. They were a couple, so the next question would be easy to solve. However, before Song Lixin could finish thinking, the boy who had been following the girl and working hard rushed up suddenly, and the things in his hands fell to the ground. An incredible voice echoed throughout the business center. What? You have a boyfriend? The girl was startled. Why are you yelling so loudly? You have a boyfriend. Then what am I? Ah. The girl blinked her innocent eyes. I always treated you as a friend. You treat me as a friend. You treat me as a friend? The boy gasped hard, looking at his hands, as if he was looking at a clown. Oh, that's it. I'm actually a friend. Okay, 3 interviews, 3 accidents. Song Lixin is a professional. Even though he witnessed the chaotic scene, he still kindly interrupted the boy and asked, Sir, are you willing to broadcast the interview with me? However, the boy seemed to be completely insane and kept repeating the same sentence. We are actually friends? Calm down. The live broadcast from the street interview to the execution scene was still finishing up, but the chat room couldn't care less. The barrage refresh speed was so fast that it was overwhelmed, and the number of fans was also growing at an alarming rate. Hahaha. Even if this is a play performed by actors, I still think it's funny. What a bullshit actor. Can an actor perform such true feelings? Look at that man. He has put on a mask of pain. Hahaha. Host, can I repost your video to another website? I can't be the only one laughing here. Recorder, hurry up and act. In contrast, Yang Ruoqian, who had just finished the last game and was planning to go backstage to check the dismal data, at this time, he felt very comfortable. In the hot summer, I won a game in a comfortable coffee shop. After winning, I can go to the backstage to see how the money printing machine works. Is there anything happier than this? The street interview should have been going on for a while. Let's see what the data is. I feel that the number of fans will not exceed 5 people at most. Thinking of this, Yang Ruoqian clicked into the guild backstage. Today's 10,000 updates. Please follow me. Please. Tomorrow's update will be at 1800 hours. My hand is about to break. The day after tomorrow, it will be back to normal until 8 o'clock. Chapter 80 Remedy. Remedy. Hey, after paying off the loan, what should I do with the remaining money? Buy a luxury car? Buy a big house? A private jet? Charter a cruise ship to travel around the world? What a happy trouble. Yang Ruoqian was happily fantasizing about his future life. As soon as he entered the backstage, he heard Song Lixin's flattered voice coming from the headphones. Oh my god. Thank you, Levy boss, for the 10 super rockets. It's so expensive. How much is this? Can any audience tell the anchor? The anchor has no idea. 10 super hot. 10! Exclamation mark. Yang Ruoqian's originally smug mood was instantly shrouded in a haze of uneasiness because there was no anxiety or uneasiness in Song Lixin's voice. This is not the reaction of a new employee who has not made any achievements. Moreover, since someone sent out 10 super hots, it means that there are local tyrants who think the live broadcast is very good. No way. Impossible. The live broadcast content has been set up so badly, why would anyone still brush super hots? Exclamation mark. Do people nowadays have any masochistic tendencies? Or is the life of a rich man too colorful, so he wants to watch this boring, live broadcast to find some unhappiness? Yang Ruoqian suppressed his doubts and opened the system panel and saw that the number of Song Lixin's real fans had reached more than 30,000. A live broadcast plus 30,000 real fans seems to be similar to the previous eating broadcast, but in fact the difference can be said to be a world of difference. Song Lixin accumulated 30,000 fans in the first live broadcast without any push, relying solely on the traffic pool support of the new anchor. Whether it is barrage or comments, there is a happy atmosphere, and most of the discussion is about the things in the live broadcast, rather than attacks on the anchor himself. In other words, Song Lixin has accumulated 30,000 high viscosity viewers through only one street interview, rather than the invalid audience like Kuiguang who leaves after a curse. Moreover, if this interview is edited into a video and sent out, in the live broadcast room, the barrage is still very enthusiastic. 10 super hits cost 20,000 yuan. The anchor will get rich this time. Don't worry about how many super hits I have. Do you have a fan group? When will the next broadcast start? Have you been notified? A boss who is a domineering president? 666. Yes. Do you have a fan group? I don't want to miss your live broadcast. Yang Ruoqian looked at the barrage, feeling cold in his heart, and at the same time puzzled. What happened to the live broadcast? Why did it turn out like this? We recruited an anchor with no characteristics, and had extremely boring interview content. The two boring contents overlapped, and we should have doubled the boredom. But why did it turn out like this? Could it be that boredom can also be negative and positive? 50 million was gone, completely gone. Judging from the current trend, 5 million is probably not going to work. We must think of some remedial measures to save the 500,000. At this moment, Song Lixin's first broadcast ended, and the live broadcast screen immediately went black. Yang Ruoqian picked up his mobile phone and power bank and rushed to the place where Song Lixin was broadcasting. In this critical moment of survival, when Lion Ji, Shaoyuki and Wang Ziqin must be summoned as soon as possible to analyze the reasons for Song Lixin's success in live streaming and strive for a chance to remedy the situation. In the milk tea shop, when Lion Ji and Song Lixin each held a cup of pearl milk tea endorsed by Huang Rushi and excitedly discussed something. Seeing Yang Ruoqian hurried over, when Lion Ji waved her hand vigorously, "Boss Yang, here, here." Song Lixin, who has been working hard in society for many years, was obviously much more restrained. Seeing the boss coming over, even if he was grateful in his heart, he did not dare to show too much expression on his face. He only handed over the extra cup of milk tea in his hand and said respectfully, "Boss Yang, your milk tea." Yang Ruoqian, who had lost 50 million yuan, was in no mood to drink milk tea at this time. But it was not good to reject the good intentions of the employees. Yang Ruoqian forced a smile, took the milk tea, took a sip symbolically, and praised insincerely. Well done. When we return to the company later, we will make an analysis report with the operation and publicity to see what is done well and what is not done well. Boss Yang. Seeing the boss's face full of joy, when Lion Ji said loudly, I want to apologize. Yang Ruoqian turned around and said in a strange way, apologize? What to apologize for? When I saw your list of questions at the beginning, I actually had doubts in my heart. I was wrong. I didn't keep up with your thinking. When Lion Ji bowed solemnly, if you think it's wrong, why didn't you say it earlier? Go ahead and say it. Keeping everything in your heart will only hurt me and the company. Haha, it doesn't matter. It's normal to have different ideas occasionally. Yang Ruoqian didn't know what to say, so he could only laugh and perfunctorily. When Lion Ji shook her head, feeling even more guilty, I have to learn more from you, Boss Yang, in the future. Learn? What to learn? I don't even know what I've done. How are you going to learn? Do you want to learn it with your imagination? Yang Ruoqian complained badly in his heart and took the two back to the company. In the face of the cold reality, only the company can still bring some warmth. In the elevator, Yang Ruoqian thought so with Wen Lianji and Song Lixin's chattering in his ears. However, as soon as he stepped out of the elevator, Wang Ziqin, the operations manager, and Xiao Yuki, the publicity manager, stood up and applauded enthusiastically. The thunderous applause lasted for a long time in the company. Boss Yang is back. I've said that Boss Yang's creativity and inspiration are inexhaustible. Do you believe it now? Do you understand the value of liking a person and making him popular? The most important thing is that other guilds are afraid to poach people now, for fear of being cheated by Boss Yang again. Even if they poach people, what's the problem? Even if they poach the anchor, they won't have the boss's genius ideas, so they still have to do what they want. Yang Ruoqian didn't have time to analyze the flattery of his employees. He had tried his best to maintain a happy expression on his face. Xiao Yuki, Wang Ziqin, you two come to the conference room and analyze this premiere. Several people immediately stood up and walked into the office excitedly. Failed review is torture even once, but successful review can make people feel refreshed, no matter how many times it is done. Xiao Yuki just sat down and couldn't help but speak first. Boss, your ideas are really too strong. Let the anchors live broadcast style as a prelude, and then use the funny interview content to trigger the sense of contrast. It turns out that the so-called de-entertainment mentioned by Yang Ruoqian before is only the entertainment of the anchor itself, not the entertainment of the entire live broadcast. The anchor itself looks de-entertainment, but the live broadcast content is highly entertaining. With such a sense of contrast, are you afraid that it won't touch the audience? What is market control? What is the grasp of the audience's psychology? This is it. Yang Ruoqian, who didn't watch the live broadcast the whole time, was confused and had no idea what Xiao Yuki was talking about. What kind of thing is there to lay the groundwork and trigger it? I just played a game and drank a cup of coffee. In order to maintain his image as a boss, Yang Ruoqian took a sip of milk tea and kept his tone calm. Review. Just take out the recorded broadcast and review it, and then each of you will make a summary report explaining why this premiere can be a great success. When Lion Ji won the first battle and received the first anchor with a promising future, at this time, she was the most excited, so she said loudly, "Got it. I will get it for you within half an hour." Yang Ruoqian nodded slightly. Yes, hurry up and get the success factors out, and then I will avoid these damn pitfalls one by one. A little late, sorry. Chapter 81 carefully planned. Clap, clap. The three people in the backstage of the office area were typing away at the computer keyboard, chatting with each other while typing. Xiao Yuki, now think back to a few days ago. You said shamelessly that you could grasp all the boss's thoughts. Isn't it embarrassing? Wang Ziqin asked in a low voice. Xiao Yuki blushed immediately and argued, what do you mean by shameless? Can it be called shameless for an employee to care about the boss's thoughts? Then there were some difficult words, such as talent gap, wrong brain circuit, misjudgment and so on, which caused laughter in the office. All employees now knew that Xiao Yuki was arrogant. It was just good luck that he guessed Mr. Yang's thoughts for the first time and saw through his exquisite layout. When Mr. Yang showed a more powerful operation, Shaoyuki immediately couldn't keep up. Legal advisor Ding Daowei also took the opportunity to criticize his junior. "You are so proud of yourself. Why don't you calm down and learn more? This is such a good learning opportunity. Why are you still so careless?" The familiarity between the two is no secret in the company. No one thinks it's strange. "I know, Uncle Ding." Shaoyuki casually perfunctorily said a few words to his senior, then turned around and chatted with Wen Lianji again. "Don't just blame me. Ask yourself, when General Manager Yang came up with that live broadcast plan, was I the only one who thought it was unreliable? He just said what everyone was thinking. I was actually confused at the time, but I knew that the boss would not be wrong, so I didn't say anything." Wen Lianji kept laughing. "I just joined the company not long ago, but I still know the reputation of General Manager Yang." Wang Ziqin replied to her female colleague, "Look at you, you are so useless. I have so many powerful anchors under me, but they are not like you now. Of course, I can get a lot of commissions with such an employee." Wen Lianji's eyes lit up. "I have been eyeing a bag for a long time, and I will buy it when I get paid this month." "How much salary do you have to buy a bag?" Wang Ziqin asked in surprise. She never dared to spend too much extravagantly. In addition to paying off the mortgage, most of the money she earned was deposited in the bank. The cosmetics she usually used were also the most cost-effective ones. Bags, she just looked at them. When Lianju typed the last line on her report and raised her head proudly, "I'm a moonlighter. I spend as much as I have and live in the present. You don't save any money. Aren't you afraid that something will happen and you will starve to death on the street one day?" Wang Ziqin was even more shocked. Starving to death is impossible, but Wen Lianji's consumption concept is so abstract that it is difficult to describe. Wen Lianji, who was about to hand the report to Yang Ruoqian, immediately showed a lingering fear and nodded vigorously, saying, "I almost starved to death last month. Fortunately, Mr. Yang recruited me into the company and provided free meals. Otherwise, I would have to challenge how to spend 10 days of difficult performances with 50 yuan. Listening to the agent's sister's divine theory, Shaoyuki and Wang Ziqin were silent. They seemed to suddenly understand why Wen Lianji, a pretty girl, was so vengeful when it came to eating, as if she had never had a full meal in her previous life. It turned out that she really starved because of moonlight. While the employees were working hard to write the report, Yang Ruoqian returned to the office and watched the live broadcast replay over and over again. In the end, he came to a conclusion. It's not that there is a problem with his live broadcast plan, but that these interviewees are too outrageous one by one. A very simple, very ordinary question about preferences, just because of some strange XP of the truant student, immediately turned into a tragic execution scene. Obviously looking at an honest man, when asked what is the most important factor in finding a girlfriend, he can actually say hiding it from my wife, an answer that even a 10-year cerebral thrombosis can't answer. Can't you answer the question properly? Do you have to live a whole life? Yes, you are happy, you have a mouthful of addiction. The price is that I lost 50 million in one wave. Although the live broadcast has ended now, Song Lixin only gained 30,000 fans after the first broadcast and is still in the big flop status, but there will definitely be many people who repost this live broadcast on other different platforms. Only then will the fans explode. What are these fans brought by the live broadcast? When the street interview replay is completed and pushed on various platforms, it will not be a problem to increase the number of fans by 100,000 or 200,000 in one day. The most important thing is that it is only the beginning of the month. There are still a full 20 days before the end of the month. In these 20 days, how much will Song Lixin's fans increase? Yang Ruoqian doesn't even dare to think about it. Thinking about it for a while makes me feel like my heart is bleeding. Just as Yang Ruoqian was mourning for his wallet, the door of the president's office was knocked hurriedly. When Lianji's brisk voice came, "Boss Yang, I have finished writing the report. Can I come in?" It's finally here. The successful summary is finally here. The idea of the next street interview must be changed, and the changed idea will be summarized by the 3 backstage teams. Come in. Yang Ruoqian seemed to grab a life-saving straw. Let me see how our team's summary work is done. Wen Lianji put the document on Yang Ruoqian's desk, and Yang Ruoqian picked it up and read it carefully. After 5 minutes of careful reading, Yang Ruoqian roughly understood the analysis given by Wen Lianji. I have to say that this girl is quite reliable. In summary, the reason why Song Lixin's first broadcast became popular is similar to what was said before. That is, to create a huge contrast between seriousness and humor. But in Wen Lianji's report, the role of the location and time of the interview was particularly emphasized. In her report, Wen Lianji believed that when Song Lixin conducted street interviews on weekday afternoons, 90% of the young people who could walk outside during this time period were skipping classes. Most of these young people who skipped classes also loved sports and surfing the internet. They knew a lot of hot topics on the internet and often saw all kinds of borderline pictures on the internet. It was natural for them to say that they liked playing football and liked football babes. The same logic applies to the second interviewee. If that person is really the same as he looks, an honest modern white-collar worker, how could he run to the business center to hang out on a busy weekday? It was also natural for them to say that the key factor in finding a girlfriend is to hide it from his wife. That's it. Wen Lianji actually thought of things to this level. Not bad. I understand. Yang Ruoqian looked at this successful report, and a surge of excitement surged in his heart, and he couldn't help but nod slightly. It turned out that there was a problem with the location of the street interview. No wonder I encountered 4 monsters after 3 interviews. Very good. The next idea is very clear. In the future, we must resolutely avoid Kayanda Plaza, and we must avoid this evil time period of 2 p.m. After submitting the report, Wen Lianji has been watching the changes in Yang Ruoqian's face. It was not until she saw him nod slightly that the agent's heart was completely relaxed. Mr. Yang approved of the report. It shows that there is no problem with his understanding. Yang Ruoqian put the report down and asked, then what do you think the location and time of Song Lixin's next live broadcast should be? Wen Lianji, who was happily waiting for the boss's praise, was asked, the location and time of the next live broadcast? The way to success is in front of us, and the methods of success have been summarized. Why do we still have to think about the location and time of the next live broadcast? Isn't it enough to just go to Kayanda Plaza at 2 p.m? Mr. Yang, Wen Lianji said uncertainly, do we need to change the location for the next live broadcast? Don't change it, and wait for the 500 yuan bonus this month. It must be changed. Of course we have to change the live broadcast location. Yang Ruoqian's eyes became serious. Now is the critical period for Song Lixin to increase his fans. If we don't make progress at this time and only dare to follow the old path conservatively, our future achievements will not be much higher. We can't follow the old path conservatively. Yes, I started to get carried away because of a success that I picked up. Wen Lianji immediately corrected her attitude. Boss Yang is right. Besides, what is Song Lixin's own dream? Yang Ruoqian nodded and continued to fool him. He himself said that he wants to go deep into the homes of ordinary people and walk through the streets and alleys. If he is only allowed to stay in a commercial center for interviews, what is walking through the streets and alleys? At this point, Yang Ruoqian suddenly felt grateful to Song Lixin. If Song Lixin hadn't said this passionately, it would have been a headache for Yang Ruoqian to fool Wen Lianji at this time. Wen Lianji listened to her boss's lecture, and her face was as if she had just woken up from a dream. Yes, live broadcasting is not only the company's business, but also the anchor's own business. Song Lixin hopes to interview in different places, so that he can work happily and more efficiently. Boss Yang, I understand. Wen Lianji nodded vigorously. Then where will we choose the location for our next street interview? Have you decided? The next street interview will be arranged near the university during the lunch break. It is recommended to select younger looking college students to interview as much as possible. After Yang Ruoqian finished talking about the live broadcast plan, he added, your rest time will be adjusted. Just report to the company after 11 o'clock in the morning of the same day. Yang Ruoqian arranged the interview to the university, which was carefully planned. Most college students have not really entered the society yet and are relatively simple. Compared with direct random interviews, the probability of encountering an interviewee who is against the sky will be greatly reduced. Freshmen have just experienced the cruel college entrance examination. Relatively speaking, they are less likely to mess up than their seniors. In general, interviewing freshmen on the university campus is the choice that is least likely to go wrong. Okay, it's almost time to get off work, go home and have a good rest. Update will resume at 8 AM tomorrow. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82, Adding Fuel to the Fire. Also in Jinhae City, Xianyu Media. An agent put the information on the desk with some expectation and suggested to the capable woman behind the desk, "Sister Yu, have you seen the data of the new anchor of the Kuiguang Guild? How about we pay a high price to dig him over?" Yu Zioran sat in the office, looking at the data that kept popping up on the computer while sorting out the piles of documents on the desk. After a while, she responded indifferently, "What did you do earlier? Don't you think it's too late to dig him now?" The agent was stunned for a moment and argued, "But Sister Yu, Song Lixin just signed a contract with the Kuiguang Guild yesterday, and he became popular today. No matter what we do, it's too late." Haha, it's too late. Yu Zioran shook her head. "It turns out that our company's efficiency is so low that we can't contact a single anchor for a whole day." Although the tone was not heavy, how could the agent not hear this obvious blame? He immediately put on a smiling face and bowed repeatedly. "That's not it. That's not because I got cheated by Yufu last time. I'm a little afraid to act rashly." The joke that Yufu made became a typical example of stealing chickens, but losing rice in the live broadcast industry, and it has been a joke among people in the circle recently. How could he, a small agent, dare to take such a risk? He might even lose his job. Yu Zioran said coldly, "So you want to wait until others become famous before taking action? You think you are smarter than Yang Ruoqian who plotted against you for group, right? If you go to sign now, do you believe that Yang Ruoqian will give you a contract with a penalty of tens of millions in a minute? What else can you get except humiliating yourself? This. Go out. Think before you speak next time. My time is precious, and I don't want to waste it on such meaningless things." Yes, Sister Yu, I'm sorry. A week later, Yang Ruoqian looked at Chang Ziking who was laughing on the sofa, and his face was a little dark. "Is it so funny? It's not like you haven't seen this video. It's been a week since the street interview, and this woman still can't get tired of it, right? No, it's the comments of the person involved that brought this interview to a height that it doesn't belong to." Chang Ziking, who was laughing like crazy, shared the video link with Yang Ruoqian. Look at the top comment. Hahaha. In fact, after the interview, Yang Ruoqian had expected that this scene would happen sooner or later, but subconsciously didn't want to think about it. What's the point of putting a thin code on the live video after it's been posted? This can't be said to be a way to remedy the situation. It's simply deceiving oneself. Sometimes, the comments may even be more exciting than the video itself, and this is like adding fuel to the fire for Yang Ruoqian's already bleak plan to make money. But, it's useless to avoid it, and reality must be faced after all. Yang Ruoqian opened the link with a dull expression, clicked on the live video repost, and scrolled to the comments section of the video with millions of views. The top commenter is a member user with an anime avatar and a very high community level. There are two pictures in the comment section. The first picture is a self-criticism that looks like it has 1,000 words, and the second is a notice of disciplinary action. "I'm at school. Thank you, host. I was awarded these two surprise prizes by the principal himself at the flag raising ceremony, and I'm still not recovered from it. My parents will probably give me a gift when I go home tonight. I will never forget the host's great faults and great kindness." The number of comments on this post reached a terrifying 500, and all of the comments below, without exception, were gloating over the other's misfortune. Haha, the anchor did a great job. You should be punished for not studying hard at this stage of senior high school. You're already thinking about football babes at the age of 18. What are you thinking about at the age of 20? Why does this kid seem a little unintelligent? He only remembered to ask the anchor to blur him out halfway through the interview. What's the point of doing that? You kid, you're still hiding your phone at this time, right? Isn't this my alma mater? Wait, I still have my old head teacher's WeChat. I'll tell her about it now. You kid, wait for your phone to be confiscated. Add 500 more words to your self-criticism. Haha. You're so cruel. Be a human being. I thought the video was already very funny, but I didn't expect it to be even funnier in the comment section. Haha, what a poor student. Every time Yang Ruoqian refreshed the comment section interface, he could see one more comment and a dozen more likes. It's conceivable how popular this video is. How many fans can it bring to SYNOPSIS? Ruoqian's meteor was so dazzling that Yang Ruoqian thought the long darkness had passed. However, when the meteor fell, he suddenly realized that the system bonus for next month was gone again. And if SYNOPSIS continues to maintain the current terrifying speed of increasing fans, the bonus he can provide at the end of the month will definitely reach 5,000 yuan, which is the same as Gaonayan and Ruan Minor, slightly inferior, slightly better than Huang Rushi. In other words, if SYNOPSIS development is not curbed, Yang Ruoqian will get 3 bonuses of 5,000 and 1 bonus of 500 at the end of the month. A total of 15,500 yuan. It's not even as much as he got last month. Tired. Destroy it. Boss, you are really amazing. Chang Ziking looked at Yang Ruoqian's calm face and admired sincerely. You can actually think of such an idea, no wonder you can succeed. Success. Who are you cursing for success? Haha, it should be, it's normal. Yang Ruoqian made a perfunctory remark, and then injured the pain in his heart, and clicked on SYNOPSIS information panel. SYNOPSIS, anchor, real number of fans. 62,731. Rank, Xiaopu Street, bonus 500,000. The number of fans increased to more than 60,000 in 2 days. Yang Ruoqian looked at the bad news one after another, and tried to keep his mentality stable. It's okay, it's okay. Isn't it just more than 60,000 fans? There is still a chance. The effect of SYNOPSIS' first live broadcast was too good. In the comment area of the video recording, there were even interviewees who came forward to say cooperation, which raised the audience's expectations very high. If the next live broadcast effect is not good, and the audience who are full of expectations go home disappointed, the speed of increasing fans will definitely stagnate, and the bonus issue can still be saved. 500,000 can't be kept, at least the bottom line of 50,000 must be maintained. Yang Ruoqian comforted himself, walked out of the office, and called SYNOPSIS over. At noon today, we will go to Jinhei University for an interview. You and Wen Lianji should be ready, and arrive there on time at 12 noon. The company will reimburse you for the taxi fare. If SYNOPSIS is not allowed to go out for live broadcast, Yang Ruoqian will be judged by the system as a passive operation. Yang Ruoqian was so angry that he didn't have much energy to follow him. SYNOPSIS looked solemn, as if he had taken on a heavy burden. Boss Yang, I promise to complete the task. I will never let you down. Chapter 83. What's so good about this rotten, dilapidated building? At noon, Yang Ruoqian rarely went to rest and have fun, but returned to his office and watched the live broadcast backstage with Chang Ziking. The failure of this live broadcast will have a huge impact on Yang Ruoqian's living standard next month. After 2 months of comfortable days, he didn't want to fall into the predicament of eating dirt again. SYNOPSIS, you must not let me down. Why do you look so nervous? Chang Ziking seemed to feel the emotions of the people around her and asked strangely, the first broadcast was so successful. Even if the next live broadcast is mediocre, the overall performance will not be too bad, right? Nervous? Yang Ruoqian is not nervous, but under great pressure. Whether SYNOPSIS maintains his previous performance or performs better, it is a disaster for his boss. Only if the street interview is so substandard, there is a chance of revival. Thinking of this, Yang Ruoqian once again felt that he was too sad. In the first half of his life, he died suddenly in the office because of worrying about how to succeed. In the second half of his life, he was tortured and exhausted because of worrying about how to fail. When you don't want to fail, just keep failing. When you don't want to succeed, just keep succeeding. It doesn't matter. The last interview was just an accident. Just an accident. There will be no problem this time. It must be the most boring kind of news broadcast. As a qualified and conscientious boss, it's okay to worry about the future of employees. Yang Ruoqian said casually, "Look, he's on the air." At noon, Jinhae University. After school, college students walked together in groups of 3 or 2, talking and laughing. Song Lixin held up a selfie stick and recorded himself and the campus scene in the same picture. As soon as the broadcast started, countless viewers poured into the live broadcast room. Even in the short 10 seconds, when Song Lixin was debugging the equipment, dozens of barrages were wiped out. "Anchor, you're finally live streaming? Do you know how I've been spending the past 2 days without you? I can only eat with pickles. It's actually live streaming. No, I have to order a tequila right now. I'm curious about who today's victims are. Actually, I'm more curious about where the guy who said the most important factor in finding a girlfriend is to hide it from his wife is now, and how he's doing. I just calculated the time. He should be drinking Mengpo soup on the Nay Bridge now. By the way, I don't know if you have noticed that several popular anchors recently seem to be from the Kuiguang Guild. Is this a big guild? So powerful? I noticed it too. I just watched Xiaoxioro and angrily scold a cloud player, and she just went off the air. Sure, I feel that the anchors under this guild are all quite interesting, so pay special attention to them. Song Lixin finally debugged the live streaming equipment at this time. He glanced at the barrage and smiled. The audience friends are very enthusiastic. Today I came to Jinhae University to interview the future pillars of our motherland. As one of the 985 universities, Jinhae University, it is not an exaggeration to say that the students there are the future pillars of the country. As soon as the voice fell, a student who looked relatively young was seen, being surrounded by 3 classmates. After saying several words, he was released and dispersed. Really? The student who finally got a little free space showed a speechless expression. What's fun in that broken place? Song Lixin's eyes lit up, and he hurriedly stepped forward and handed over the microphone. "Classmate, do you want to participate in the street interview?" Looking at the young college student, it just met the boss's requirements, so he was chosen. "Oh, interview, sure." The student who was suddenly interrupted subconsciously said, "What do you want to ask?" Song Lixin randomly picked one from Yang Ruoqian's pile of boring questions and asked, "Classmate, are you a local of Jinhae? I just saw good classmates surrounding you." "Yes, I'm a local of Jinhae." Locals. In the questions, designed by Yang Ruoqian, there are 2 ways to ask the next question according to the different answers. If he is a local, then ask him to introduce the local scenic spots and historical sites. If he is not a local, then ask him what he thinks of the local scenic spots and historical sites. In short, they are all very mediocre and boring questions. Since he is a local, Song Lixin's questions are very simple. "Excuse me, classmate, how much do you know about the Red Crane Tower in Jinhae?" The college student almost didn't think about it. Red Crane Tower. What's there to see in this rotten and dilapidated building? It's terrible. Look at how many outsiders come here just to see the Red Crane Tower, which was rebuilt 40 or 50 years ago. Hey, wait, are you going to be on TV? It can only be said that as a college student from a top 985 university, his mind works faster than the previous interviewee. Song Lixin nodded and said, "Yes." "Wait a minute, wait a moment." The college student immediately straightened his back and simply tidied his hair. After several seconds of tactical pre-swing, he introduced in a clear and solemn voice, "Ahem. Red Crane Tower is located on the top of Snake Mountain on the south bank of Chang River in Jinhae City, our province. It was built in 223 AD and is adjacent to Wanli River. It is a 5-level tourist attraction and enjoys the reputation of the first building in the world. Red Crane Tower is one of the landmark buildings in Jinhae City, but we not only have Red Crane Tower in Jinhae, but also Kingchuan Pavilion and Gukinte, which are known as the 3 major scenic spots in Jinhae. Jinhae has a long history and culture, and we also welcome many domestic and foreign tourists to visit our Jinhae. Thank you. After speaking, the student left in a chic manner, leaving a majestic back to Song Lixin and the audience in the live broadcast room. If it weren't for the previous sentence rotten and broken building, this back might be even more majestic. Before Song Lixin could say anything, the live broadcast room had already laughed as expected. Ha ha ha. I was still looking forward to the next victim, but I didn't expect the anchor to go a step further and make the victim city. This guy was a citizen of Jinhae in the first 10 seconds, and then he became the mayor of Jinhae, right? For the honor of the city, this guy's really fighting. But the previous paragraph has been recorded. To be honest, this mentality is quite real. As a native of Shanghai, I don't think the Bund is good at all, but there are endless tourists from other places. It's the same when watching the tide in Kaiantang. Outsiders watch the tide, and we locals watch outsiders. Ha ha ha, this guy is so funny when he says something against his will. Why does the anchor have a joke every time he conducts an interview? Just like the last street interview, the live broadcast room was full of barrages, and the number of Song Lixin's fans was almost skyrocketing by hundreds per second. When Lion Ji, the agent girl, hid aside, watching the data and fans of Song Lixin's live broadcast room continue to soar, and she was happy and admired. What made her happy was that her commission increased again. What I admire is that Mr. Yang's ideas for designing questions are so clear, interlocking, one after another, using seemingly boring questions to induce interviewees to make various kinds of live answers, which are not only funny, but also resonate with many people. The difference between the views of locals and outsiders on local popular attractions exists in many places. This interview is not only interesting, but also builds a topic with extensive discussion value. The more people discuss, the more popular the live broadcast room will be. It turns out that this is Mr. Yang's plan. These questions look boring on the surface, but under the boring appearance, they are inducements to interviewees. So Mr. Yang's ability to cheat the youth guild is by no means a fraud. He has used his actions again and again to personally tell employees that thinking about problems should be multi-level and not be confused by the superficial phenomena of things. To succeed, you must arrange the plan in a three-dimensional level. The most important thing is that Mr. Yang does not rely on his mouth to talk, but really has practical actions, using his own successful experiences to educate employees. I don't know how many company leaders are completely unaware of the inside story of the industry and only know how to give employees death orders, asking them to do something without considering the actual situation. Leaders are not designers. They only think from the user's perspective. They don't know how to describe their requirements reasonably and clearly, but they still act like leaders, which will lead to a lot of jokes. For example, they ask the photo editor to use PS to turn the back of a head. Or the most classic requirement, colorful black. If it were before, a boss asked Wen Lion Ji to make a host like Song Lixin increase 100,000 fans and 50,000 revenue within a week, she would only think that the boss was stupid and had no basic knowledge. But now, General Manager Yang almost taught Wen Lion Ji how to achieve this seemingly unreasonable requirement. How can such a boss not convince his employees? In the office, Yang Ruoqian looked at the background data and the live broadcast scene, dumbfounded. No, what's wrong with college students nowadays? I just asked you about a place. How can you do this? Is it because Yang Ruoqian is unlucky and always encounters interviewees who are against the sky? Or are there so many people who are against the sky? At this time, the live broadcast was still going on, and the sound of the interview came from the computer and poured into Yang Ruoqian's ears. Classmate, have you ever started a business? A young voice answered, I opened a breakfast shop, but it went bankrupt. Song Lixin immediately asked, why did it go bankrupt? Was it because of poor management? Oh, no, it's because I can't get up in the morning. Bang. Yang Ruoqian directly closed the web page, and the whole office became quiet. Chang Ziking, who was laughing so hard, was stunned. Why did you suddenly turn off the live broadcast? Didn't you say you wanted to care about your employees? Yang Ruoqian closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Now I have something more important than caring about my employees. This more important thing is how to avoid starving to death next month. Chapter 84 Broken, Brand Image Built. A week has passed since Song Lixin's first broadcast. At this time, almost everyone in the office is full of enthusiasm. Good performance, low pressure, high salary, good treatment. Almost every employee working in Kuiguang Group has a feeling that others dare not even think about. Work can be so happy. With the unremitting efforts of everyone, the fans of the company's 4 anchors are steadily improving and are rapidly heading towards the 1 million mark. It feels like the data of all our anchors have grown rapidly during this period. Shoyuki rubbed his chin and asked in surprise, but our publicity methods and delivery volume have not changed compared to before. Wang Zikin replied, have you forgotten? Our guild has gradually gained some brand effect. As long as the audience sees this anchor in our guild, whether they have seen it or not, they will subconsciously click in. The performance of our anchors programs is good, so the speed of increasing fans will naturally increase. I feel like our company should have a homepage. How can we, such a powerful guild, not even have a homepage? Wen Lianji also made her own suggestions. That makes sense. We'll go talk to the boss when we have time. Ta-da-da. As they were talking, the crisp sound of high heels suddenly came from the office area, and everyone knew that Chang Ziking had arrived. Hello, President Chang. Good morning, President Chang. Chang Ziking nodded slightly. Her face and tone were very calm, and she said casually, everyone continue to work. After that, she pushed open the president's office and walked in front of Yang Ruoqian. Chang Ziking stared at Yang Ruoqian with her beautiful eyes for a long time and laughed. Boss, what's wrong? Why have you been absent-minded these days? Of course I was absent-minded. In addition to Huang Rushi, who has already broken through 1 million fans, the number of fans of the other 3 anchors is also rushing towards the terrifying direction of 1 million within this week. In other words, in the near future, if Yang Ruoqian does not make any changes, Gaonayan, Huang Rushi, Ruan Minor and Song Lixin can only provide a bonus of 500 yuan, which adds up to a total of 2,000 yuan. 2,000 yuan. A boss with a net income of 2,000 yuan a month. The system does not prohibit Yang Ruoqian from living and eating in the company, and starving to death is just a joke, but an income of 2,000 a month is more or less embarrassing. Even in order not to lower the average level of the reborn, Yang Ruoqian cannot let this unhealthy trend continue. It's okay, I didn't sleep well last night. Yang Ruoqian thought about how to remedy it, and shook his head absent-mindedly. What's wrong? Didn't you see the current online public opinion? Our guild's reputation has been established. Everyone is saying that the products of Kuiguang must be high quality. As long as you are the anchor of our guild, you can follow it boldly, and it will definitely not be bad. Chang Ziking's eyes were full of stars, and she handed the phone to Yang Ruoqian. There are very few people who scold us, and almost all of them are contributed by Ruan Minor alone. Ruan Minor's live broadcast style is destined to polarize her evaluation. However, Yang Ruoqian's focus is not on a certain person. The most important and terrifying news is that his guild has become famous. What does this mean? It means that, even if they don't do any publicity in the future, the Kuiguang Guild itself is a golden signboard with its own traffic. What's more, the system absolutely prohibits negative operations such as hiding anchors. It will be even more difficult to recruit anchors who are completely forgotten in the future. Haha, is that so? This is really good news. Haha. Yang Ruoqian glanced at Chang Ziking's phone, and in order not to spoil the girl's fun, he forced an ugly smile on his face. Any other good news? He deliberately emphasized the 3 words good news. Chang Ziking took back the phone and sat down leisurely. Landlord, have you forgotten that we should build our company image? In the past, the guild was still small, and building an IP didn't play a big role. But now the Kuiguang Guild has become famous and has begun to take shape, but it doesn't even have a company homepage. What's the matter? The boss has a very sharp eye for anchors and a high level of political conspiracy, but he is a little slow to react to such small things. Yang Ruoqian was originally frowning, but when he heard what Chang Ziking said, he seemed to have just woken up from a dream, and his eyes were immediately filled with light. Build the company's image. Build the company's image. Yes, why didn't I think of it? Didn't the company's image improve? Then suppress it. Can't the anchors get extra traffic because of the guild's brand effect? Then discredit the company's brand and turn this positive effect into a negative effect. Yes, he was only worried about the bad consequences of the company's image improving, but he didn't expect that he could also discredit himself through the opposite means. Thinking of this, Yang Ruoqian's mind suddenly opened up. In the next period of time, he must personally operate the company's brand image and strive to make all the audience see that a certain anchor belongs to the Kuiguang Guild and don't want to click in. Chang Ziking watched with interest as Yang Ruoqian's stiff smile became excited and his dull eyes were once again filled with hope. He couldn't help but feel a little proud in his heart. He is a very powerful general, but his level of leadership seems to be not as good as mine. How about it? Do you have any ideas? Chang Ziking asked knowingly. Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but stand up, but based on his countless successful lessons, he still didn't express his ideas at the first time, but asked back, do you and other employees have similar ideas? Standing in high heels is really tiring. Chang Ziking sat on the sofa, folded her legs with perfect curves, and said slowly, when I came in before, I heard them say that they would suggest you to make a homepage for the company. I think it's feasible. Make a homepage for the company. Yes, it is indeed feasible. The company's homepage is like the facade of a store. The better the facade, the better the image, and vice versa. Okay. Tell them to bring it over after the plan is completed. Yang Ruoqian nodded. Then completely deny the plan, step on all the pits, and strive to make a shocking company homepage to discourage ambitious people and disgust the audience. In this way, everyone will not have a good impression of the company, right? Just when Yang Ruoqian was about to make a decision, Huang Rush's voice suddenly came from outside the door. Mr. Yang, Mr. Chang, can I come in? Oh. Huang Rushi? After Yang Ruoqian implemented his sinister plan to force his photographer to take wedding leave, the progress of the studio construction was indeed slowed down a bit. Now that Huang Rushi has come, it should be that the studio construction work plan has reached its end, and he, as the boss, needs to do the final acceptance work. Yang Ruoqian temporarily put aside the plan to discredit the company and said to the outside, Huang Rushi, is it about the studio? Come in. Huang Rushi walked in anxiously. Boss Yang, the studio construction is almost done. It's just. Seeing that his own employee seemed to be hesitant to speak, Yang Ruoqian smiled. If you have any difficulties, just tell me. I'll tell you good news at the end of the next chapter. Chapter 85, Sweeping Monk. Huang Rushi scratched his head a little embarrassedly. Boss Yang, that's right. Aren't we going to form a group? My teammates may not be familiar with some things, so we need to rent a dance studio. After saying that, the burly man lowered his head embarrassedly. He knew that this request was a bit too much. Boss Yang had already agreed to provide financial support, help the studio to cover the bottom line, and not affect the studio's decision making, etc. He was very generous. Now he, Huang Rushi, actually asked to rent a dance studio outside the company, and even didn't let Boss Yang see the workplace. Forget it. If Boss Yang doesn't agree, then just find a random place to practice dancing. Anyway, I've suffered so much, so it doesn't matter. As soon as this idea came up, Huang Rushi was pulled back to reality by Yang Ruoqian's voice. Okay. Dance studio is good. I believe you will be self-conscious. Yang Ruoqian agreed without thinking. Just write a report and tell me how much money you need. There is no performance pressure, no financial pressure, and the work location is far away from the company headquarters. It is impossible for an employee not to slack off in such a working environment. Forming a group will dilute the fans. Throwing this group away will reduce their enthusiasm for work. Wouldn't this precarious bonus be back? Huang Rushi, you are my savior. Yang Ruoqian, whose mentality was blown up by Song Lixin, seemed to see the bonus waving at him again. The tragic fate of only being able to get 15,500 or 2,000 bonuses seemed to be fading away from him. Boss Yang, you. Seeing that Yang Ruoqian agreed to his excessive request without even thinking about it, Huang Rushi was immediately moved and decided to show his boss the results of his studio formation for so many days. Do you want to see the progress of our studio formation? I guarantee you will be satisfied. Guaranteed to be satisfied? Hearing this, Yang Ruoqian was not very happy. Why is Huang Rushi so confident? Did he spend a lot of money to find some professional trainees to join the dance group? If these talented prospective artists with good looks, excellent dancing skills, and online singing level join the dance group, coupled with Huang Rushi's super high popularity, it is not impossible for the entire boy group to become popular overnight. No, we must eliminate this possibility. Okay, take me to see it. Yang Ruoqian was filled with anxiety, and at this moment he seemed a little impatient. Let's check the results of your hard work for so long. Are you going today? Huang Rushi looked at the pile of documents on the boss's desk and asked with concern. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How can such a life and death matter be delayed for a moment? Yang Ruoqian turned off the computer, picked up his mobile phone, nodded and said, yes, today. Chang Ziking, who had been left out for several times, volunteered this time. I want to go too. You want to go too? That's fine. Then let's help him check it together after lunch break. Yang Ruoqian thought about it and postponed the time for a few hours. After all, it's the first time to open a studio, and it's very likely that some detours have been taken. Huang Rushi was happy with a bit of nervousness. Thank you, Mr. Yang. After that, he left the office. Yang Ruoqian looked at Chang Ziking again and said, we can start planning the webpage now. Ask the operation department to give a specific plan first, and at the same time, invite bids to find an individual or studio that can make a webpage. Chang Ziking shook her long legs slightly, with a sly smile on her face. Boss, have you forgotten that our company already has someone who can make a webpage? Huh? Who? Yang Ruoqian was stunned for a moment. Our security guard ZHU Kithang. Chang Ziking smiled brightly. Wasn't he one of the people in charge of this area in Xianyu Group? His professional level must be very strong. Yang Ruoqian then remembered that there was such a person in his company. Inviting an old security guard to make a webpage really has a bit of the flavor of a sweeping monk. This suggestion is indeed feasible. Okay, ask the operations department to hand over the plan to me within 7 working days. I will revise it and then let ZHU Kitham do it. Since there is someone in the company, Yang Ruoqian does not have to spend time outsourcing. However, this is not his job. If he agrees to help us make the website, he must be paid. If he doesn't agree, we can't force him to do it. Boss, I understand. Chang Ziking stood up and straightened her wrinkled dress. Any other instructions? Yang Ruoqian thought for a while and added, don't compress the time when you pass the order to them. If you say 7 days, it means 7 days. Anyway, Yang Ruoqian will do everything possible to delay the work efficiency of employees. In order to improve work efficiency or to reserve time for themselves to check, many company managers now go a step further in the requirements of leaders when assigning tasks to subordinates. For example, if the leader says that a plan must be obtained within 7 days, the executives who receive the task will tell the middle level management that the time must be within 5 days, and the middle level management will further require the grassroots management to come up with a plan within 3 days, and the grassroots management will force the employees below to come up with the plan within 1 day even if they have to work overtime. After being notified layer by layer, the time left for the employees to do the work may not even be 1/10 of the original order. The scale of the Kuiguang group is not large now, and it will not carry out such 3-dimensional management, but this kind of unhealthy trend that can improve the work efficiency of employees must not be encouraged, and a red line must be drawn now. You are quite considerate of them. Okay. Chang Ziking took the order, walked out of the office, and found the operation girl Wang Zikin. Seeing Mr. Chang approaching, Wang Zikin immediately stopped what she was doing and asked seriously, Mr. Chang, what's wrong? Mr. Yang wants to design the company's homepage. Come up with a plan within 7 working days. Chang Ziking's attitude was neither cold nor enthusiastic, and it was no different from the tone of a superior speaking to a subordinate. Try to make the plan as comprehensive as possible. Yes, Mr. Chang. Any other instructions? Go ahead. After giving the instructions, Chang Ziking went to find the security guard ZHU Kithang and discussed the specific additional work with him. When Mr. Chan walked away, Wang Zikin breathed a sigh of relief, stuck out her tongue, and whispered to Xiaoyuki beside her, "Mr. Chan has a strong aura. I feel like Mr. Yang is easier to get along with." Xiaoyuki couldn't help but twist his mouth when he heard this. Strong aura. I should really take you to the class reunion to see how Chan Ziking behaves in front of Yang Ruoqian. Xiaoyuki resisted the urge to complain and said, "Make your plans well, and don't worry too much about the boss's affairs." After a busy morning, the lunch break passed quickly. Yang Ruoqian and Chan Ziking were in the driver's seat and the co-pilot's seat respectively, while Huan Rushi in the back seat handed Yang Ruoqian a mobile phone with an address entered. "Boss Yang, I paid some money myself and temporarily arranged a new member at this place. You can just drive over there. There is a parking space there. Paid it myself!" Exclamation mark. Upon hearing this, Yang Ruoqian frowned immediately. Good news. When I thought I had already sent it, I was notified that it was at the bottom of Sanjiang. Bad news. Due to Sanjiang, the listing was postponed again, and the editor said it would not be available until next Wednesday. Finally, thank you all for your follow-up reading. Thank you so much. How can I repay you? Can I give you a lucky draw after it is listed? Chapter 86. The Odd and Uneven Combination. Employees paid for it themselves. How can this be possible? Exclamation mark. When employees step out of their comfort zone and face the risk of losing money, they will naturally face profit pressure. With profit pressure, they will have work motivation. With work motivation, their followers will increase faster. If their followers increase faster, Yang Ruoqian will not make money. The subjective initiative of employees themselves is often more effective than the boss's pressure. Huang Rushi, have you read the employee code of conduct? Yang Ruoqian asked in a flat tone, starting the car while asking questions. Huang Rushi nodded quickly. Boss Yang, I have read it all. I have read it all. Then tell me what the content of Article 8 is. Yang Ruoqian fastened his seatbelt and continued to ask questions. Huang Rushi thought for a moment and said weakly, all work-related expenses of employees must be reimbursed by the company, and not at their own expense. Then don't you remember this very clearly? Yang Ruoqian slapped the steering wheel and criticized with some anguish. All work-related expenses must be reimbursed by the company and cannot be at your own expense. How could you pay for it yourself? After you paid for it yourself, why did you hide it from me for so long? And didn't ask me for reimbursement? Huang Rushi was shocked by the boss's blame and hurriedly explained. Boss Yang, I think these people may not meet your requirements and may not be considered work related, so I want to wait until the final confirmation is correct before asking you for reimbursement. The final confirmation is correct? How can that be? If the confirmation is wrong, you will lose money. Wouldn't the employees be in danger and strive to do their best? Only by guaranteeing a minimum of no responsibility can employees get going. As long as you do it during working hours, it is all classified as work. Yang Ruoqian's tone was very serious, as if he was talking about something very important. Since this is your first time making a mistake, this time it is just a verbal criticism. Next time, I will never allow such a thing to happen again. Do you understand? If there is any expense, you must ask the company for it, not pay for it yourself. Although Huang Rushi didn't understand why he was criticized for saving money and reducing pressure for the company, based on the axiom that Mr. Yang would never make a mistake, he apologized most sincerely without thinking. Mr. Yang, I'm sorry. It's a great virtue to know one's mistakes and correct them. Seeing that the employee had a good attitude, Yang Ruoqian nodded with satisfaction, stepped on the accelerator, and drove to the dance studio rented by Huang Rushi. During the working hours on weekdays, there was not much traffic on the road, and the three of them arrived at the dance studio quickly. Unlike the bad environment that Yang Ruoqian imagined, the dance studio was surprisingly good in both size and comfort. Although it was not comparable to the headquarters of Kuiguang Company, it was definitely a preferential treatment for employees. Yang Ruoqian looked around and nodded. Sure, it's not cheap to rent this dance studio. Not bad, I'll earn it from you. Seeing that the boss was quite satisfied with his performance, Huang Rushi laughed and said, I don't know how to do business, but I still know how to copy others. I will do whatever you do, and it will definitely not be wrong. Strictly limit employees' working hours, and provide employees with the best possible working environment. Huang Rushi almost directly moved the employee code of conduct of the headquarters of Kuiguang Company over. Seeing that the employees were so smart and copied all his efforts to fail, Yang Ruoqian was really overjoyed. Very good. Your attitude is very good. With such a work attitude, why worry about the studio not being cold? Although Song Lixin unexpectedly became popular and ruined the bonus for next month, Huang Rushi's side was propped up again. This is called a village with bright flowers after dark. Huang Rushi was flattered by the praise and said repeatedly, I will show you the members of the boy group. I only plan to add 2 people this time. The others include some dance planners, photographers, etc. He quickly opened the door of the dance studio and shouted to the people inside, everyone, clean up, Boss Yang is here to inspect. Then there was a sound of ping pong from inside. Hello, boss. Hello, Boss Yang. Hello, Boss Yang. Come in and sit down. Boss Yang, would you like to have a drink of water? Thank you for your hard work, Boss Yang. You took the time to see us in your busy schedule. As soon as Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziqing entered the dance studio, they saw several people greeting them attentively. The most conspicuous of them were 2 people, one of whom was a very strong, tall and fat man with a square face and a silly expression. Huang Rushi's body was already considered tall and fat, but compared to him, he was actually a whole head shorter and a whole weight thinner. The other one was completely the opposite extreme. He was short and thin. From a distance, he looked like a skeleton. Although his facial expression was well managed, it was funny. Yang Ruoqian was used to being flattered by his employees. He just waved his hand, called Huang Rushi over, and asked, introduce me. Huang Rushi pointed at the 2 funny guys, one fat and one thin, and said, boss, these 2 are my new group members. From now on, I plan to change my shark platform ID to Macho Dance Group. These 2 are group members? Exclamation mark. Yang Ruoqian didn't react for a moment. He didn't react to this great news. In this day and age, is it still popular to get something for nothing? If it was just Huang Rushi himself, and his attack on the audience was limited to the spiritual level, then the damage of these 3 people combined would probably be concentrated into physical damage, right? At first, Yang Ruoqian was worried that Huang Rushi would deal with 2 powerful people. Now it seems that he didn't hire powerful people, but horror people. But, very good. But, you have a very good eye for recruiting people. Yang Ruoqian ignored Chang Ziqing's wide eyes and her shocked and astonished emotions, and immediately expressed his approval to Huang Rushi. These 2 new members are very good. They are the ones. Let's decide. Don't change it anymore. If the more changes are made, the better. Wouldn't that go against Yang Ruoqian's original intention? Huang Rushi, who was repeatedly affirmed by his boss, was full of energy and immediately patted his chest. Boss Yang, I will definitely work hard. Well, from now on, all of you will be considered as real members of our Kuiguang group. Yang Ruoqian's tone became more and more excited. This dance studio has a rather ordinary environment. I will rent a better one for you to use temporarily, and then I will strive to build a dance studio that truly belongs to us in the company. Okay, you guys are busy with your own things. I'm very satisfied. By the way, remember, you must not sneak into work after get off work. This is the rule of our company. After giving the employees a boost, Yang Ruoqian turned around and left the dance studio. Until he got in the car, the joy in his heart did not dissipate. You are so happy. Before you even start, Chang Ziqing buckled her seatbelt and said casually, are you so confident that they can replicate their previous success? Aren't you afraid of any accidents? 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 Exclamation mark. As soon as these words came out, Yang Ruoqian was immediately pulled back from his excitement. He realized that he had overlooked something very important. When Huang Rushi was live streaming before, Yang Ruoqian also thought that he would be a failure and would not become popular, and the reason was exactly the same as this time. What if something unexpected happened again, and the whole dance troupe became popular again? Yang Ruoqian suddenly woke up. No, I can't use conventional methods to guess what the audience thinks. I must think of a foolproof insurance measure. The design of the company's homepage is imminent. Chapter 87, a perfect design. 5 days later, Wang Zikin placed her elaborate idea for the company's website homepage on Yang Ruoqian's desk. This was her painstaking work, after referring to countless large, small, and new company homepages, consulting countless professional designers, and comprehensive consideration. I believe that Mr. Yang will be very satisfied. Yang Ruoqian took Wang Zikin's web design plan with some expectation, and opened the first page. 5 days ago, when he was enlightened in the dance studio, Yang Ruoqian realized that, if he didn't want to repeat the same mistakes, it would be urgent to destroy the company's golden signboard as soon as possible. Wang Zikin looked at Yang Ruoqian, and opened her design plan, and said confidently, "Mr. Yang, please take a look." At the first glance, Yang Ruoqian was a little amazed at the neat format of Wang Zikin's document, which was very comfortable to read. In the document, Wang Zikin gave Yang Ruoqian 3 different homepage design ideas. "Tell me about your ideas." Yang Ruoqian looked at the plan in his hand, and asked Wang Zikin to sit down. "Tell me how you came up with these 3 design plans. What are the advantages and disadvantages?" Wang Zikin's eyes flashed with pride. "Mr. Yang, for the first plan, I referred to the creativity of many current game companies. I displayed our artists on the homepage in the form of cartoons, trying to make it as fancy as possible but not confusing, and adding some activity and trances. Many young people now buy into this. The audience group of these anchors under the Kuiguang Guild happens to be mostly young people. Creating some cartoon images of anchors and organizing some small activities can not only narrow the distance between the audience and the audience, but also increase the audience's stickiness. In general, it is a very good design plan. Rejected." Yang Ruoqian nodded, without immediately expressing his approval or disapproval, and continued to ask, "What about the second one?" "The second one should be minimalist." Wang Zikin reached out, and helped Yang Ruoqian turn a page. "Don't have any fancy words. Put the most important information of the company and hyperlinks to other materials neatly on the homepage. In short, let the audience see it at a glance. This method can show the company's emerging and flourishing, and tell everyone that this is a team of young people." Minimalist style. Many universities and new technology companies will use this method to make their homepages. The advantages are obvious. All information is fully displayed, and the main and secondary are clear, which will not dazzle people. Clicking on this kind of homepage, a feeling of pursuing efficiency and vitality will come to you. The audience will not be disgusted, and potential partners will also think that this company is reliable. In short, there are only benefits and no harm. Very good. Veto. Yang Ruoqian silently rejected Wang Zikin's second plan in his heart, turned to the third page, and said lightly, "Okay, let's talk about the third plan." Wang Zikin was very excited. Obviously, the third plan was her most proud idea. The third plan is a step further than the second plan. We can design a 3D homepage. Under the premise of ensuring simplicity, we can use 3D effects to make the entire webpage look more vivid. On the basis of not increasing the number of operation steps, we can improve the interactivity and sense of substitution between the browser and the webpage. Just saying this, the visual sense of depth, the shocking feeling of showing the company in 3 dimensions in front of others is directly on the paper. Hearing this, Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but be amazed. Amazed at his foresight. Fortunately, I checked it in advance, and didn't let my employees take full charge of the webpage. Otherwise, once this third design plan comes out, the glorious image of the Kuiguang Guild will be nailed down, and there is no possibility of reversal. They are all good, but they all have shortcomings. You can tell me about them yourself." Yang Ruoqian put the file down, seemingly letting the operation girl correct herself, but in fact, he was buying time to prepare for his next fabrication. There was no other way. The employee's professional level was getting higher and higher, and it was getting harder and harder for Yang Ruoqian to fool people. Wang Zikin almost didn't think about it. The advantages of the first option are obvious, but the disadvantages are also obvious. It is not calm enough, and not grand enough. It is good for the audience group who pursues entertainment and novelty. If it can be seen by potential partners, it may lower their evaluation of our company. Partners are not important. The audience is important. What about the second design? Yang Ruoqian asked again. It doesn't offend anyone everywhere, but it doesn't stand out enough. It is a safeguard that pleases both sides. Wang Zikin was completely in the state. As soon as the question was asked, she expressed her opinion. It won't be too wrong, and there is nothing too novel. Yang Ruoqian's expression did not change. What about the third design? The only disadvantage of the third option is that it is expensive. Wang Zikin secretly glanced at Yang Ruoqian's face, but expensive is not a disadvantage for Mr. Yang. Such a blunt flattery. The corners of Yang Ruoqian's mouth twitched. Girl, if your flattery skills were only 1/10 of your business skills, you wouldn't be so awkward. Fortunately, Yang Ruoqian had a clue at this time and could start to fool people. No, you didn't get to the point. Yang Ruoqian shook his head. Go to the refrigerator in the entertainment room and get 2 cans of coconut juice. I'll talk to you after you get them. Get 2 cans of coconut juice? Wang Zikin was stunned. Boss Yang, get them now? Yes. Although she was completely confused by the boss's request, Wang Zikin still chose to obey the order. Okay, wait a moment. After more than 10 seconds, Wang Zikin took a can of a certain tree brand coconut juice in each hand and handed it to Yang Ruoqian. You drink it too. Yang Ruoqian only took one of the cans and pushed the other one over. Thank you, Boss Yang. After talking for so long, Wang Zikin happened to be thirsty, so she didn't refuse. After the drink in the can was finished, Yang Ruoqian asked calmly, how does it taste? The reputation of the tree brand coconut juice has always been good, and the taste is excellent. Wang Zikin thought without hesitation, it tastes good. The quality of this brand of coconut juice is beyond reproach. Then what about the quality of our guild's anchor? Yang Ruoqian asked a seemingly irrelevant question. Wang Zikin instinctively answered, it's also very good. Very good. This is the answer I want. Seeing that the operation girl has gradually fallen into the logic trap she set, Yang Ruoqian finally showed a relaxed smile on his face. Then take a look at the appearance of the tree brand coconut juice packaging. Ah, the outer packaging of coconut juice? This question made Wang Zikin dumbfounded. She looked at the poster-like outer packaging of the tree brand coconut juice, the promotional slogan that can be typed in Word, and the red, black, and white fonts that were forced in. Thinking back, Mr. Yang just said that he didn't find the point. Hiss, no way. Mr. Yang, is he planning to borrow the design style of a tree brand coconut juice packaging to create his company's homepage? Chapter 88. This company homepage is too abstract. There was a moment of dead silence in the CEO's office. Wang Zikin chewed on the meaning of her boss's words for more than 10 seconds, and her face finally turned pale. Boss Yang, what do you mean? Could it be that the company's homepage should be the same as the outer packaging of this tree brand coconut juice? The dense words, the extremely chaotic layout, the text color like street advertisements, and the information density that wants to stuff everything into the audience's brain. Just by imagining, you can imagine that the company's homepage made in this way is similar to some websites that were warned by FOBA. When viewers or investors come and click on the company's homepage and see this thing, that scene is very exciting to think about. No, it is hard to hold back. What is Boss Yang thinking? Exclamation mark. Not bad. Yang Ruoqian showed an unfathomable expression and confirmed Wang Zikin's guess. The company homepage one need is this homepage. Boss Yang, this. Wang Zikin carefully considered her words and put forward her own opinion with high emotional intelligence. Will the homepage made in this way be too? A little abstract? This is the company's facade. No matter how fancy it is, the first design is already the limit. Yang Ruoqian shook his head. I'm just telling you the idea. Of course you can't copy it. Hearing the boss say this, Wang Zikin's mentality, which was almost collapsed, was supported again. It's good that it's not. Using the packaging style of a certain tree brand coconut juice to make the company's webpage homepage is really too eye-catching. Such design art should still be a little too early for people in the 21st century. Wang Zikin breathed a sigh of relief. Boss Yang, what are your specific suggestions? It's not enough to just learn from the packaging of a certain tree brand coconut juice. In my opinion, they are still a little too conservative. Yang Ruoqian took the mouse and opened a pirated reading software with pop-up ads flying all over the computer, showing it to Wang Zikin. We should add some pop-ups like this. Fill up the top, bottom, left and right of the company's homepage, and leave only the middle part for viewers to read the content of the web page. How can a small web page that looks like the warning of FOBL be enough? Yang Ruoqian's idea for the company's homepage is that, except for the content being from the guild, all the designs are copied from this kind of website, striving to give the browser the strongest mental attack. Think about it, when potential partners click on the company's homepage and see this kind of thing, who would have the idea of cooperating? Those powerful and capable anchor artists want to join the company and want to find the company's contact information, but when they enter the homepage, the contact information is the same as the door-to-door locksmith advertisement, and their first impression of the company must be that kind of dirty and messy small workshop. Not to mention the audience, who are disgusted by pop-up windows all day long. Once they see this kind of page, they will most likely feel disgusted and will not stay for even a second. One design idea, disgusting 3 groups. Such a genius plan. Only I, Yang Ruoqian, can think of it, right? Wang Zikin, who was just feeling lucky, heard Yang Ruoqian's speech and was struck by lightning. It turned out that Mr. Yang thought that the packaging style of a certain tree brand coconut juice was not amazing enough, and it had to be more amazing. This. Wang Zikin looked blankly at the 3 plans that she had spent so many days and painstakingly designed. There was only one doubt in her heart in the eyes of the boss. My plan was not as good as a big character poster that was casually typed out and typeset in Word. Mr. Yang, what's wrong? Yang Ruoqian raised his head in confusion. Is what I said not clear enough? Or do you think it's too general and needs more details? Details? What details? Wang Zikin almost completely lost the ability to think at this moment and asked blankly. TSK, this girl still lacks some ability to draw inferences from one example. It's okay. As the boss, I can teach you. We definitely can't put ads in those pop-up windows on the top, bottom, left and right of the company's website. Yang Ruoqian said, isn't Uan Rush's dance troupe in the most critical period of development? We can make a small game for them and put the link of the small game in these pop-up windows. This can not only enrich the content, but also make a good publicity offensive for our macho dance troupe, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Imagine if some people with high tolerance, or who really want to cooperate, can withstand such an abstract company homepage, then what awaits them next is a constant bombardment of small game links. If the mouse accidentally clicks the wrong place, the 3 dancers with different looks will appear with earthy BGM. How many people can still endure in this situation, instead of directly clicking the cross in the upper right corner? People with bad tempers may even directly post this homepage in the community and criticize it. This is the second insurance that Yang Ruoqian set for the company's homepage. He doesn't believe that doing this will not destroy his own brand. Yang Ruoqian praised his careful plan in his heart and instructed Wang Zikin, who was dumbfounded. Is it detailed and clear enough now? According to my requirements, draw up another design and give it to ZHU Kiffin to make it. A few days ago, the security guard ZHU Kiffin readily agreed to help make the webpage, saving Yang Ruoqian a lot of effort. When leaving the office and returning to her workstation, Wang Zikin still had a bewildered expression on her face. When Lion Ji saw her like this and asked in surprise, what's wrong with you? Did the boss reject your plan? How could the state of her good sister be exactly the same as when she got the street interview questions designed by Mr. Yang not long ago? If it was just rejected, it would be fine. At worst, I can make another one. Wang Zikin sat down and couldn't help complaining. You don't even know what plan Mr. Yang gave me. She finally understood why when Lion Ji had that reaction when she got the street interview questions. In Wang Zikin's worldview, if the webpage was designed according to Mr. Yang's idea, not to mention ordinary people, even the Trisolarans would be disgusted and give up attacking the earth. You have been working for so long, and you still don't know how powerful Mr. Yang is? When Lion Ji was obviously a new employee, but she spoke like a veteran. We just need to study hard. Why think so much? After countless times of refreshing their worldviews, the employees of Kuiguang Group have long summed up 2 rules. 1. Mr. Yang will not be wrong. 2. If Mr. Yang is wrong, please refer to the first rule. Hey, I know. Wang Zikin sighed. We have to rush out Mr. Yang's plan this afternoon and hand it over to ZHU. At this point, Wang Zikin was suddenly stunned. Who did Mr. Yang just say to execute the plan? Who should be handed over to make the web pitch? ZHU Kifam? Exclamation mark. She turned her head to look at Xiao Yiki and Wen Lianji, and asked uncertainly, Zio Wen, I remember ZHU Kifang. He should be the security guard of our company? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89. It is best not to browse this kind of thing in crowded places. The company's security guard. Security guard. Why did Mr. Yang let her hand over such an important design plan to a security guard? Wang Zikin was puzzled for a moment, and then gave up the idea of asking for the truth. Mr. Yang must have his own reasons for doing this. There must be. After 2 busy hours, Wang Zikin checked her design plan. After correcting a few minor errors, she connected the computer to the printer, printed out the entire document, and found ZHU Kifan guarding the elevator door. Alas, this old man is weak, with sparse and white hair, and I didn't expect that he could even make web pages. There are not many elderly people who are so fashionable nowadays. Wang Zikin walked up and asked with a smile on her face, Uncle Security Guard, this is what the boss asked me to give to you. Do you remember? I'm not an old man. I'm only 25 years old. And what's the problem with the last do you remember? My memory shouldn't be that bad, right? Exclamation mark. Oh, Oklahoma. ZHU Kifang, whose defense was broken, took the file and mourned for his irreparable image for 3 seconds. I didn't bring my computer here today. Let's work overtime tonight to catch up. Tonight, work overtime, catch up. Exclamation mark. Shh. Wang Zikin hurriedly made a quiet gesture. You can't work overtime in our company, let alone secretly work overtime at home at night. Remember. You are absolutely not allowed to work after the end of the working time. Otherwise there will be serious consequences. If you are caught by General Manager Yang actively working overtime without pay, there will be serious consequences. If you are caught by the boss. As a security guard, ZHU Kifang did not seriously read the employee code of conduct. Even though he could see that the atmosphere of the office meeting was very relaxed from the company's daily management and employee group chats, he could hardly imagine such a situation. Could it be that such a relaxed working atmosphere was forced by the boss through various rigid regulations? Just like you have to take half an hour of work time every day to get a massage. Is it also a rigid rule that you are not allowed to work after get off work? Okay. Then I'll start making it tomorrow morning. He thought about it and couldn't help asking curiously, then, if someone works secretly after work, what consequences will they face? Wang Zikin's face suddenly became serious. Don't ask about this kind of thing. Anyway, it's very serious. As for how serious it is, Wang Zikin herself didn't know, because she also heard it from other employees. Got it. ZHU Kifan has worked in a large company and knows that many things involve the company's internal secrets. Just know it. Don't ask why. In short, working secretly behind the boss's back will lead to serious consequences. It's just a little strange. Why do employees of Kuiguang work secretly? On Friday, when it was almost time to get off work, ZHU Kifan sat at his temporary workstation and shared the finished webpage with Yang Ruoqian. If Yang Ruoqian approves of this design, it can be uploaded to the server and officially become the company's website homepage. The company must have already done the domain name registration and so on, so you don't have to worry about it yourself. It's done. I got the extra money. Mr. Yang is really generous. ZHU Kifan turned off the computer and looked at the money in his account. He was in a good mood. I just don't know why I was asked to make such an abstract web pitch. Forget it. Why bother so much? Let's have a good meal tonight to reward ourselves. No, the things I bought myself are not as good as the staff cafeteria. What a reward. I'll just buy 2 skins. After getting home from get off work, Yang Ruoqian had dinner at Chang Ziking's house as usual. 10 minutes later, the two of them cleaned up the dishes together. Yang Ruoqian curled up on the sofa and tried the webpage that ZHU Kifeng had just sent. When he clicked on the webpage, he saw only a few huge red words on a black background in Song font. Welcome to the Kuiguang Guild. On the left of this line of words, there was a row of densely packed small words, which introduced the company in a long-winded way. The terrifying information density made me dizzy just by looking at it. On the right of this line of words, there was another row of running script with only a dozen words, shouting a completely useless slogan. The information density is extremely uneven, and the entire webpage has no symmetrical beauty. It can drive people with obsessive compulsive disorder crazy in a few minutes. Scroll down a little, and you will see dense rows and rows of live broadcast replay videos with blurred covers. The most important thing is that the entire page is not only messy and disorderly, but also full of various pop-up ads. On the screen is Ruan Miner's heroic figure playing a game against 9 people alone. On the right is Gao Nayan's famous scene holding 2 lamb kidneys, and on the left is a photo of Song Lixin and an interviewee with a sensor die. At the bottom, there are beautiful photos of a trio of macho dance troupes going shirtless. The entire webpage is bloated and crowded, and it is almost difficult to start. From a distance, it really looks like some small website. Even as a designer, Yang Ruoqian had to admit that he was irritated by this extremely abstract company homepage. But while resisting the mental shock, Yang Ruoqian was also quite satisfied with ZHU Kifeng's masterpiece. Very good. This is the effect I want. ZHU Kifeng is indeed a person who left a big company. He almost perfectly reproduced what Yang Ruoqian had in mind on the web page, and even did it better. Worse than expected. The web page is very good. Let's see how the minigame is done. Yang Ruoqian was extremely excited and clicked on a pop-up window at random. Ding 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 ding, ding 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 ding. Because Yang Ruoqian had anticipated it and put on headphones in advance, the noisy BGM that suddenly broke out in the minigame did not enter the living room. Accompanying the BGM was an extremely crude 2D minigame. This minigame only had 2 optional characters, one fat and one thin from the macho dance troupe. The gameplay was also very simple. The game character would automatically move forward on a small path. The player could only control the game character left and right to obtain gains similar to X2 along the way, avoid losses similar to -3, and finally defeat a bunch of monsters and come to Huangrushi for the final battle. During the whole process, the player could only obtain values by moving left and right, and all other actions could not be controlled by the player, which was extremely boring. It's the kind of small game that you often see when watching short videos. Every time you see it, it makes people very irritated. I want to block it, but there is no such option. I clicked to report it, but it fell on deaf ears, which is extremely disgusting. Very good. This is the effect I want. Yang Ruoqian smiled, turned off the small game, and looked up to see Chang Ziking looking at him with a complicated and inexplicable look. What's wrong? Yang Ruoqian asked in a strange way. You actually went to this kind of website? And in front of me? Chang Ziking stomped her feet in anger. This is our company's homepage website. What do you mean, in person or not? Yang Ruoqian pushed the screen of his mobile phone in front of Chang Ziking and said in a strange tone, "Here, take a look for yourself." What? The company's homepage? Chang Ziking glanced over and found that it was really the company's homepage. Only then did she realize that she had misunderstood Yang Ruoqian. Yang Ruoqian took back his phone and asked curiously, "What website did you think I was watching just now? Why did you react so strongly?" There was an awkward silence of 3 or 4 seconds in the living room. Why is the company's homepage designed to be so ugly? Chang Ziking puffed out her chest and answered the irrelevant question with confidence. Chapter 90, Learning from the Successful Experiences of Successful People. Saturday should be the happiest day of the week for all ordinary workers. Just finished a week of accumulated fatigue, and tomorrow is Sunday to rest. How happy. However, at 9 o'clock in the morning, in Pengcheng's Youfu Group, the company's top management was holding a serious criticism meeting. The executive named Zheng Weineng who fired Lin Ko was on the podium at this time, glaring at his employees. Take a look at this month's performance. Take a look. What a decline. Huh. All of you are dumb. Zheng Weineng slammed the table angrily. Revenue fell by 30% compared with last month. 30%. How can you let me have the face to say this number? Is it worthy of my trust in you? Who is responsible? Who should be responsible? Youfu Group is a multi-platform entertainment company, and the live broadcast industry is only one of its many businesses. As the director of the entire live broadcast business of Youfu Company, Zheng Weineng's revenue this month made him completely unable to raise his head in front of other directors. The revenue of the company's live broadcast project is not as good as that of traditional entertainment projects such as the film and television industry and the music industry. Although the director ranks are the same, Zheng Wei is naturally lower than other directors in the company. Now the revenue has plummeted, which makes the situation even worse. How can Zheng Wei not be angry? However, there are so many managers and agents in the entire company, but no one dares to stand up and take responsibility. Lin Ko, who was judged as responsible by Zheng Wei, has now been kicked out and is in labor arbitration with the company because of compensation issues. Everyone knows that the company is not right in this matter and the arbitration will definitely be ruled as a loser, but no one wants to be tossed back and forth for several months after losing their jobs, so they all bow their heads and keep silent, hoping that Zheng Wei can ignore them. Looking at his subordinates who dare not breathe and are submissive and silent, Zheng Wei is even more angry. What a bunch of losers. 3 months ago, our revenue increased, and you all rushed to take credit. Now that the revenue has dropped, you keep your heads down and say nothing. Zheng Weineng was so angry that he laughed. That saying is so true. Success has 1,000 fathers, but failure is an orphan. After being scolded, not all of Zheng Weineng's supervisors were convinced. At present, it is normal for the profit model to fluctuate based on audience tips. Now many people are beginning to try to explore other, more stable profit models. But attempts cannot always succeed, and failure will cost the price of reduced revenue. If they are complacent and do not make progress because of the possibility of a decline in revenue, they will miss the short window of transformation. When the live broadcast craze is over, they will never be able to make a breakthrough. However, they cannot say this directly to their leaders, so they can only remain silent. Zheng Weineng became more and more excited as he cursed. It's impossible to manage a few small anchors. And that Lin Ko was actually fooled by a little known guild. How can we run a good company with a bunch of insects like you? Look at them. That little guild called Kuiguang. Huh. Can they learn from others? As he spoke, Zheng Weineng opened the playback of Ruoqian Miner's live broadcast and cursed. They can think of letting the audience vent their emotions and become popular. So why can't you think of it? Look, the beautiful girl slaughtering the sheep. How good is it to create a sense of contrast? Why can't you do it? This interview is so down to earth. How many secondary creators have been directly provided with material by the serious questions and funny answers? How much traffic has been fed back? What about you? The macho dancers have even formed a group. Zheng Weineng became more and more angry as he spoke. He found the link to the homepage of the Kuiguang Guild and clicked on it. The webpage had not yet finished loading, but Zheng Weineng did not even look at it and continued to scold the employees. Also, look at the homepage of other guilds. How much better is it than the garbage you made? Can you learn from it? Can you learn from the experience of successful people? 1 second later, the webpage finished loading. The company homepage of the Kuiguang Guild, which shocked its mother for a whole year, appeared in front of everyone. The layout style that resembled a certain website made the expressions on the faces of the supervisors who were originally holding back suddenly become exciting. In just 1 second, their status changed from a challenge to not break the defense to a challenge not to laugh. If they laughed out loud at this time, their fate would be even worse than Lin Ko. But, holding back laughter is really much harder than holding back anger. No, what's wrong with the people of Kuiguang Group? They have to make such a homepage to make them laugh at such a serious moment? Isn't this pure harm? However, Zheng Weineng who just wanted to find an excuse to scold his employees, was still madly expressing his emotions and didn't even look at the content displayed on the computer screen. It was not until a minute later that the assistant on the side finally couldn't stand it anymore and walked to Zheng Weileng and whispered a reminder to him. Zheng Wei's expression instantly became interesting. He turned his eyes and found that the homepage of the so-called Kuiguang Guild was such a shabby thing. Zheng Wei realized that he was embarrassed and didn't care about venting his emotions. He grabbed the mouse in a hurry and wanted to close a page. However, due to the hasty operation, he accidentally clicked the pop-up window while moving the mouse. Bang! Two flat characters, one fat and one thin, directly filled the entire monitor and were projected in the entire conference room by the projector, accompanied by the extremely tacky background music. Ding 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 ding, ding 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 ding. The scene immediately became funny. Finally, a supervisor in the audience failed the challenge of not laughing first and couldn't help laughing. Puff. Laughter is contagious. When one person can't help laughing, others who are already holding back can't control themselves even more. As a result, the original criticism meeting was completely out of control and the whole conference room was filled with joyful air. Ha 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 ha, I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard to hold it in. Ha 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 ha. I usually don't laugh unless I can't help it. Zheng Weileng was furious after having embarrassed himself in front of his employees. Laugh again. Let's see who dares to laugh. Mr. Zheng. Ha 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 ha. Yes. I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. I'm trying really hard to hold it in, but I really can't help it. Ha 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 ha. At the same time, at a second-tier university, several senior students gathered in twos and threes, talking to each other. Where are you planning to do your internship? I feel like the live streaming industry is doing pretty well recently. I'll see if I can get some backstage work there. I can't think of getting rich, but at least I can earn enough money for food. Hey, the Kuiguang Guild has been rising very fast recently, and they should be short of people. Why don't we give it a try? I heard that the headquarters is in the next city, very close to us, and it's a small company, so the academic requirements shouldn't be that high. A boy was tempted when he heard that. He took out his phone and searched for the homepage of the Kuiguang Guild on Baidu. Okay, let me see where their exact address is. After that, he clicked on the link to the homepage of the Kuiguang Guild. Chapter 91. We are hanged. Just as several boys were working hard for their future, a delicate female voice suddenly came from behind. Achin, what are you talking about? The boy called Achin was the one who checked the homepage of Kuiguang on his mobile phone. When he heard his girlfriend calling him, he quickly turned around and turned on the screen of his mobile phone. Look, we are looking for a job. The girl looked at the screen and her originally happy face changed immediately. You said you are looking for a job. The girl unconsciously took a small step back and asked in disbelief, what kind of job are you looking for? Achin was stunned for a moment and replied subconsciously, the job of this company on my mobile phone. The workplace is in Jinhai City, very close to us. Are you really that short of money? The girl's face turned pale little by little. Do you have to go? Really that short of money? Achin was stunned for a moment and then realized that his girlfriend should not want a long-distance relationship, so she reacted so strongly. Indeed, long-distance relationships are more difficult to maintain than ordinary relationships for various reasons. It's okay, this is a live streaming platform, we can apply together, maybe we can work together. Achin showed a warm smile and comforted his girlfriend. The girl took a step back and looked at her boyfriend with a look of shock. Live streaming platform, we work together? Are you serious? At this time, Achin hadn't reacted yet. He looked at his girlfriend's reaction and immediately knew that he had said the wrong thing. Doesn't his girlfriend like live streaming? It's possible that some girls don't like to show up in public. Achin, who had figured it out, apologized again and again. I'm sorry, I didn't think it through. If you don't like live streaming, you can also be a video blogger. As long as the content is good, their guild should also accept it. Video. He actually said that, if he doesn't live streaming, he can go shoot videos. Why is the person I have always liked suddenly like this today? Exclamation mark. He-chan, I didn't expect you to be such a person. The girl almost fainted with anger. She turned her head and ran away directly. Let's break up. Chen, who was originally very excited and thinking about planning their future life, was stunned, and the brothers who were watching the show on the side were also stunned. Isn't it just finding a job? As for the big reaction, even if you don't like live streaming, you won't get so angry. Chen stood there with a blank face, turned the screen of his mobile phone around, and took a look subconsciously. After seeing this, Chen almost threw his mobile phone away. What the hell? Wasn't it the homepage of the Kuiguang Guild that he clicked on? Why is it this thing? Exclamation mark. Did he just slip and accidentally click on some illegal sites? But when Chen looked carefully, he found that this website with a chaotic layout that looked like an illegal site was the homepage of the Kuiguang Guild. Now, even the most dull person would not realize why his girlfriend ran away. Live broadcast. Video. Wait, listen to my explanation. After Chen realized the problem, he took a breath and ran in the direction where his girlfriend ran away. I don't want to listen. Monday, just got to work. Yang Ruoqian sat comfortably in his office chair. Just as he was about to check the data of the macho dance troupe, Chang Ziking pushed open the door of the office and walked in quickly. Boss, have you seen the hot search headlines today? What hot search headlines? What does it have to do with us? Yang Ruoqian, who didn't like to pay much attention to the so-called front page headlines, asked back. Most of the news that can be posted there are bought hot searches, and most of the things are about the family affairs of a certain celebrity. And Yang Ruoqian was not very interested in the private affairs of a stranger. Chang Ziking handed the phone to Yang Ruoqian and said with a bit of laughter and tears, our company was hacked, and the child accused us with tears. Huh? Accusing the company with tears? Yang Ruoqian was full of confusion. His Kuiguang company was operating normally, never engaged in vicious competition, never played vulgarity, employee benefits were full, and the salary was the top in the industry. How could it be accused? Is there any misunderstanding? Yang Ruoqian picked up the phone and took a look at the title. Kuiguang Guild, you almost ruined my love. Ah, what does your love have to do with me? How can we ruin your love from a distance? Could it be that he was caught by his girlfriend while secretly watching Gaonayan's live broadcast, which triggered a family ethics tragedy? After reading the title, Yang Ruoqian was confused and could only click into the text and read it carefully. Who in the family understands? Yesterday, I discussed with my brothers where to find a job. We selected a company. As soon as I clicked into the homepage, my girlfriend came. I didn't look carefully at the time and directly pointed the phone screen at my girlfriend, saying that I would go to this company to find a job and go with her. As a result, my girlfriend directly scolded me for being a shrimp-headed man and was really disgusting and said she wanted to break up with me. I was directly dumbfounded at the time, and later I found out that the homepage of this company was like this picture. I just want to ask the person who designed the website of this company, is your head stuck in the door? That night I explained for 3 or 4 hours before I finally cleared up the misunderstanding. You almost ruined my love. You really deserve to die. The replies under this text have exceeded 3,000 at this time. Ha 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 ha. Is this picture real? Could it be the up editor? If it's fake, I hope it's real. If it's real, I hope it's super double. Fuck, brothers, I've checked it out. This company's homepage is really like this. That's right. This company's homepage is just a little messy. What's wrong with it? Is being messy wrong? Ha ha ha. I can't write it anymore. Ha ha ha. Did the person who designed this webpage get drunk? Have you played that low quality little game? That hellish BGM is more torturous than the game itself. Looking at these comments, Yang Ruoqian suddenly felt a sense of surprise. A pillow for you when you're sleepy. Just when I was worried that no one would notice my company's shabby homepage, traffic actually came to me automatically. These bad reviews, these accusations, these complaints. When passers-by see it, they will definitely have a bad first impression, right? The plan to smash the company's signboard was a great success. That's right, everyone, come and have a look. This is our Kuiguang group. This is our homepage. This is our facade. Isn't it unreliable at first glance? There's no future at first glance. and that low quality minigame. Everyone who played it thought it was annoying. Chang Ziking didn't know what Yang Ruoqian was thinking, and she seemed a little worried at this moment. Boss, should we clarify it or ignore it? Chapter 92, A Public Relations Crisis. Clarify? Give it a cold shoulder? How can this be? They must take this opportunity to create a tough, arrogant and unrepentant company image for netizens on the internet. Apologize? I will never apologize in this life. I just have to be stubborn to the end. Yang Ruoqian flatly refused. It's not our fault. Why should we clarify? Why should we give it a cold shoulder? Not only can we not clarify, we can't be ostriches. We have to fight back against them with righteous words. Fight back. Chang Ziking was a little anxious. Boss, Puerto Rico can't be like this. When a company encounters a PR crisis, there are various ways to deal with it. You can play dead. You can apologize. You can cut off the whole incident. You can also push a temporary worker out to take the blame. And the worst choice is usually to be stubborn. Not only not admit mistakes, but also throw all the mistakes on others and blame others. Generally speaking, companies that do this kind of PR will arouse everyone's anger, attract a lot of abuse, and cause a bigger PR crisis, and a vicious cycle, until the whole incident is settled. There are even examples where improper PR handling directly leads to a sharp drop in the stock price and revenue of the entire company. In fact, in many cases, as long as it does not involve issues of principle, the internet spectators are still very tolerant. As long as the apology is sincere and a few sweet dates are given, the reputation will immediately improve. Just like a foreign artist who uses a sewing machine, his reputation was not very good before, but he released a self-deprecating white noodle song, and immediately a large number of passers-by turned fans and haters turned fans appeared. So in Chang Ziking's view, this kind of incident is so small that it is not even a public relations crisis. The company just apologizes and suppresses the heat, and it will soon be forgotten by the internet. There is even no need for the company to respond. It only needs to remain silent for a few days and the matter will be over. There is no need to fight back. However, Yang Ruoqian insisted on his own way. Our website is just unique, and the content is completely formal, without any bad guidance. Such an accident happened. It was entirely their own fault. How can they put the blame on us? Do you think the audience will believe your explanation? Chang Ziking twitched her mouth. This matter was not a big deal to begin with, and you just made a big deal out of it. Yang Ruoqian certainly knew that at this stage. Even if it was just a college student complaining about a company's homepage, it could not be said to be a small matter, and it could basically be classified as nothing. Others want to make a big deal out of a small matter, and a small matter out of nothing, but Yang Ruoqian has to do the opposite. With the nature of Kuiguang Company, it is really difficult to encounter a public relations crisis. Now that a once-in-a-lifetime public relations crisis is right in front of him, Yang Ruoqian must consider whether this will be his only chance in his life. It is a duty to discredit the company's image. But the same cannot be said for Chang Ziking. Yang Ruoqian said seriously, to maintain the company's image, we can't tolerate these people talking nonsense. Chang Ziking covered her face directly. Okay, good. You are the boss and you have the final say. So how do you plan to fight back? How to fight back? In fact, Yang Ruoqian had a lot of ideas in his mind, but he felt that they were a little lacking. Suddenly, Yang Ruoqian thought of a good idea. Ruin Minor should have gone off the air now, right? Call her to my office. Ruin Minor. Ruin Minor. When Chang Ziking heard this name, a beautiful and petite girl flashed in her mind unconsciously, showing a beautiful scene of a beautiful and petite girl speaking to teammates in the chat box, and speaking to the audience in the live broadcast room. She shuddered all over, and a sense of absurdity arose spontaneously. Boss, you don't want Ruin Minor to help you write a public relations statement, do you? If you let her write it, what she wrote in the end would be a public relations statement or a declaration of war? Exclamation mark. Yes, this girl has talent in this area. Yang Ruoqian was very satisfied with his genius idea. His tone was firm and unwavering. Go ahead, believe me, it's not wrong. Chang Ziking was going crazy. Are you the boss or a bystander? Why do I feel that you are a bit suspicious of watching the fun? Chang Ziking had no choice but to accept the order and walked out the door, muttering in her mouth, "If it weren't for your name being Yang Ruoqian, I would definitely resign on the spot." After a long time, Ruan Miner's voice came from the door of the office. "Boss, can I come in?" Except for the interview, this was her first time to enter the boss's office, and she was actually a little looking forward to it. "Come in, I have something to tell you," Yang Ruoqian responded. "Hey, I'm coming." Ruan Miner pushed open a crack in the door and slipped in. "Boss, what's the matter? I will go through fire and water to get it done for you." Where did this internet addicted girl learn all these tricks? Yang Ruoqian shook his head with a smile and handed over the phone. "Someone expressed dissatisfaction with our company's homepage on the social platform. Let me see what words we should use to fight back." Ruan Miner took the phone and was a little surprised. "Boss, I'm good at arguing with people online, but I'm not very good at public relations rhetoric. I just want you to argue with people." Yang Ruoqian smiled and said, "If you don't try it, how do you know you can't do it? Show the confidence you have when playing games, and never doubt your ability. Show the confidence you have when playing games. I'm good at this." Ruan Miner suddenly felt a lot more relaxed, picked up the phone, and started to look at the cause and effect of the matter. After more than 10 seconds, Ruan Miner returned the phone to Yang Ruoqian, with some expectation and some nervousness in her tone. "Boss, I do know how to answer, but I'm afraid something will happen." "Something will happen?" "I'm not afraid of something happening. I'm just afraid of nothing happening." "It's okay," Yang Ruoqian encouraged. "If you have anything to say, just send it out boldly. Don't worry about anything going wrong. The company is your strongest backing." Ruan Miner paused on the phone and asked, "Then, which account should I use to send it? Should I use a Water Army account or the company's official account?" Yang Ruoqian thought without hesitation. "Just use the official account. Our Kuiguang Group, from top to bottom, will never have any fake fans and Water Army, and will never buy playback volume. Nothing but truth is true." Just kidding. What Yang Ruoqian wants is the effect of the official personally taking action. How can the comments posted by hiring Water Army be as eye-catching as those posted by the official account? Ruan Miner nodded and typed a line of words on the screen of the phone, then looked up and asked, "Well, then I'll send it? Or should you take a look first?" "Boss, send it directly." Yang Ruoqian has great trust in Ruan Miner's ability in this regard. "Don't worry, what you say is what the company says." Ruan Miner clicked on the screen. The comment was sent successfully. Yang Ruoqian took the phone back from Ruan Miner and saw at a glance that an account with a Blue V certification and the ID Kuiguang Entertainment Media Co Limited had posted the following comment in the highly discussed comment section. "Why do the uploader and his girlfriend have bad thoughts when they see this homepage? Do you two dare to show your browser history? Chapter 93 Thoughts on the Future." Good. When Yang Ruoqian saw this comment for the first time, there were only 2 words in his mind. Satisfied. In just one sentence, not only did he clear the company of all responsibilities, but he also bit back and even asked the other party to provide relevant evidence. A perfect template for PR failure. Now the company's reputation will definitely plummet, attracting the indignation of netizens. It is estimated that it will take less than a day for the company's reply to be pinned to the top. At most 3 days, it will ferment on a large scale at the level of public opinion. Ruan Miner successfully completed the task, and her bright eyes curved into crescents. "Hey, as long as the boss is satisfied, then I will go back to work first." "Wait a minute." Yang Ruoqian stopped Ruan Miner. "Live broadcasting will always end. Have you considered what will happen after live broadcasting? Most people's live broadcasting career is like a flash in the pan. As time goes by, the technology will deteriorate due to aging, and the game will change due to the changing times. It is inevitable. This bowl of rice is delicious, but it is hard to eat for a long time. Only the anchors at the top of the pyramid can earn enough for their lifetime needs in a short period of glorious years without worrying about their future livelihood. But most of the live broadcasters cannot become the top of the pyramid. Don't look at the fact that many anchors earn hundreds of thousands of yuan a month and have unlimited glory, but they must earn enough wealth in a limited time and manage it properly. Otherwise their future life may not be too good, and even poverty is not impossible. Many of them spend a lot while making a lot of money. When their income drops sharply, they find that they have no savings and have been out of touch with society for many years. How can they adapt to a job of a few thousand yuan a month when they are used to a 7-figure monthly income? That kind of psychological gap is unimaginable. When a person's view of money is destroyed and they cannot integrate into today's society, what awaits them is only poverty. Especially in the game live broadcast area, where the education level is relatively lower, this phenomenon will be more frequent. Gaonayan is frugal and manages the family. Huang Rushi is self-disciplined, and Song Lixin has experienced social hardships. Yang Ruoqian is not worried about the future of the three of them. But Ruan Minor, the internet-addicted girl, is obviously not so reassuring. Well, I haven't thought about it yet. Ruan Minor, who has always been pampered by her family, couldn't think so much. She chuckled and said, just take it one day at a time. Oh, it's true. Yang Ruoqian shook his head, save the money well. When you don't do live broadcasts in the future, you can go to be responsible for the company's public relations work. Oh, okay. Thank you, boss. Ruan Minor was flattered. Thank you, boss. Okay, go and do your own thing. Ruan Minor got up and left, flattering with her flattery skills that were even worse than Wang Zikin. Boss, I wish you good health. Boss, I wish you a fortune. Yang Ruoqian watched Ruan Minor leave, and suddenly a doubt arose in his heart. Since the anchor's career is so short, the fans will definitely fall slowly after the peak period. By then, if there are a lot of out-of-date internet celebrities in the company, wouldn't the system's bonus be easy to make? With the nature of the system, it will definitely not leave such an obvious loophole for me to exploit. I can find out by looking for the 213 illegal regulations. Soon, Yang Ruoqian found the answer in the 14th regulation. Detailed rules for marking available anchors. No matter who you are, as long as you subjectively want to become an anchor, artist, or singer, you will be marked as available for recruitment. When an artist under the host decides to withdraw from the industry, the system will make the final bonus settlement based on the current number of fans. From then on, the anchor, artist, or singer will no longer be able to provide bonuses. The host cannot influence the decision of others by any means. TSK, as expected. Yang Ruoqian shook his head and turned off the system panel. It was obviously unknown how many years later, but the system was so considerate to block any possibility of loopholes. However, Yang Ruoqian was not surprised. Although this system often made his heart stop, it was generally much easier than in his previous life. I haven't watched my employees live for a long time, so I'll go and take a look. Yang Ruoqian thought so, and clicked on the Shark Live platform. On the cover of the homepage, there were several anchors rotating, some in the living area and some in the game area. Yang Ruoqian was not very interested in live broadcasting, but just when he was about to enter the word Yunmei in the search box, he was suddenly stunned. Wait, what game was that anchor playing just now? At this time, the rotation of the cover had passed, and Yang Ruoqian could only move the mouse back and drag the cover forward one page. I saw a very fat anchor with a 3-letter ID playing a game with great interest. It stands to reason that it is nothing for a game anchor to broadcast games live. But the strange thing is that the game played by this anchor is not something else, but the low-quality small game based on the Huang Rushi dance troupe on the homepage of the Kuiguang Guild. What's going on? Yang Ruoqian clicked into the Anchor's live broadcast room with great curiosity. What's fun about my crappy game? As soon as he entered, Yang Ruoqian heard a laugh that sounded like a pig's grunt. This person called EPP laughed at the computer screen. Hehe. Hehe. Don't tell me, this game is really addictive. The barrage in the live broadcast room was brushed one after another below. Hahaha. The moment the last boss came out, I burst out laughing. Isn't the sound effect too funny? Asayosu, give me a pair of eyes that haven't watched this live broadcast. The fat shaking up and down made me confused. No, this game looks simple, but why does it feel interesting to play? Indeed, the graphics are quite magical. I started laughing the moment I saw the character selection interface. I just entered the live broadcast room. What game is this? Can anyone tell me? I'm curious too. Suddenly I saw a lot of anchors playing this game. A guild uses this game to promote their anchor. The anchor also broadcasts on the Shark platform. He is very popular, especially the edited videos. I heard that someone was cheated by their homepage and wanted to complain, but before he could complain, he became addicted to their minigame. DPP glanced at the barrage and asked in surprise, "Is the prototype of the game also from the Shark platform? The fans recommended this game to me. I haven't really learned about this anchor." The barrage immediately replied, "The number of video views of others on Bilibili is expected to hit the top of their history. How come you haven't heard of it? All the hosts in this entire guild are first class in their ability to make things happen. I didn't expect that their company itself is also so good at it. Ha ha ha." DPP stretched with difficulty. "Sure, give me the video playback address, and I'll watch it with you." Yang Ruoqian looked at the grand occasion in the live broadcast room, and suddenly felt a chill on his back. Chapter 94 Shooting Yourself in the Foot. DPP's size is unimaginable. The traffic brought by any streamer he watches during live broadcast is almost comparable to a cover level recommendation. It doesn't matter whether the traffic is a lot or not. What's important is that this traffic hits Kuiguang Rush's newly established studio. What's more frightening is that just now in the barrage, Yang Ruoqian also saw a piece of extremely bad news for him. "Suddenly I saw a lot of streamers playing this game. Are there many streamers playing this rubbish game that they just made on the spur of the moment? No, there are so many 3A masterpieces on Steam that they don't play, and so many Krypton Gold games that a certain company doesn't play. Why do these streamers have so much free time to play his crappy game? Do you know that every additional streamer playing is equivalent to helping Kuiguang Rush promote for free, which is equivalent to attracting traffic, and is equivalent to drawing blood from Yang Ruoqian's already not rich coffers?" Yang Ruoqian was puzzled. It's fine if his streamers become popular, but how can the low quality small game made by the security guard become popular? After exiting the live broadcast room, Yang Ruoqian didn't waste a moment and clicked into the game section of the Shark platform to see if these big anchors were really as bored as the bullet comments said and wanted to play the crappy game starring Kuiguang Rush's trio. However, what you fear is bound to happen. At a glance, more than half of the dozen anchors on a page were playing his little game. Some anchors even changed the title of their live broadcast rooms to something like, "Let's play a magical little game today." For a while, the agile postures of the three members of Kuiguang Rush's dance troupe spread throughout the game area like a virus, bringing Kuiguang Rush's already high reputation to the game area that didn't watch much dance anchors. Yang Ruoqian exited the game section with a dull expression, opened his follow list, and clicked into Kuiguang Rush's live broadcast room. Kuiguang Rush was not broadcasting at the moment, but the speed of the bullet chat box refreshing was dazzling. The most common words were phrases like "I came here because of my reputation, and I'm following you." The live broadcast room, which has been renamed Macho Dance Troupe, has also experienced explosive growth in the number of fans for the second time after the broadcast of the Macho version of New Treasure Island, and the growth momentum is even greater than the first time. Even if it is a pig, it is impossible for the number of fans not to increase under the promotion of a large number of top anchors on the entire site. What's more, Kuiguang Rush's own live broadcast content is of high quality. Faced with such a grand occasion, Yang Ruoqian didn't even want to open Gaonayan's live broadcast room. He called out the system panel as quickly as possible to check the real fan data of Macho Dance Troupe. Kuiguang Rush, Macho Dance Troupe, total real fans: 1,455,639. Average number of fans: 485,213. Average status: Who cap bonus 50,000. Not bad. Yang Ruoqian breathed a sigh of relief. Although the number of fans increased rapidly, there were 3 people to average the number of fans after all, so the average data increase was still controllable. Even if this kind of small game suddenly becomes popular, it will fall very quickly. There is not much game content, it is not very playable, and no one will update the game. It will be over in a few days. The rapid growth of the fans of the male dance group will not last long. Now there is only 1 week left before the settlement date. If you are lucky, you can keep the 50,000 yuan. If you are unlucky, you can at least get 5,000 yuan, plus the 500 yuan each of the other 3 people. 6,500 yuan. Not bad. After a few months, Yang Ruoqian has slowly begun to calm down about the bonus amount issued by the system. Anyway, you can eat in the employee cafeteria at noon, eat at Chang Ziking's dinner at night, and take the company bus to and from get off work. 6,500 yuan is not a bad life. And although the fans of the Shark platform are growing fiercely, Yang Ruoqian is also very foresighted to discredit the company's image by artificially creating a public relations crisis. The two sides offset each other, and the probability of getting 50,000 yuan at the end of the month is definitely not small. It's just that it will take a few days for public opinion to ferment, while the anchor's publicity is immediate. In this regard, Yang Ruoqian was quite grateful for his previous wise decision. Fortunately, he called Ruan Minor to create a public relations crisis, otherwise his income this month would be the lowest in the company. Wait for the settlement. Wait for the settlement. Friday, the last working day, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking came to work as usual. However, as soon as they entered the door, they were blocked by Ruan Minor. The little girl was in high spirits and did not hide her pride in front of the two leaders. Boss Yang, Boss Chang, do I really have a talent for public relations? Although you, the boss, have 90% of the achievements, do I also have 1% of the achievements? What public relations talent? Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking were both stunned at the same time. Isn't this girl a gamer? Why did she suddenly say that she had a public relations talent? Could it be that the incident a few days ago finally began to ferment at the public opinion level? What's wrong? Chang Ziking took a step forward. What public relations? Ruan Minor chuckled. Didn't Mr. Yang tell you? Did he want to give you a surprise? Elsewhere in the office, the operations girl Wang Zikin also sighed. I feel like there's nothing in this world that Mr. Yang doesn't know. He's so versatile. You have to be so competitive to be a boss now. Agent Wen Lianji nodded and counted on her fingers. From selecting people, to operations, to publicity, to public relations. Mr. Yang, what else can't you do? Every time I think Mr. Yang has shown all his strength, he will prove with facts that my imagination is really too lacking. Just when all the employees were amazed and the two leaders were asking what they were talking about, the person who played the role of the king of understanding in the company finally came out. Needless to say, it was naturally Shaoyuki, the well-informed rich second generation. This is called perfect public relations. Shaoyuki picked up his phone, swiped the screen, and talked freely. Other people's public relations are nothing more than playing dead, being stubborn, and apologizing. Playing dead is needless to say, and the consequence of being stubborn is likely to be scolded more severely. Apologizing and making amends seems to be the best solution, but the disadvantage is that it is easy to give others the impression that the company is weak, and it is easy to attract some people who deliberately touch porcelain. And the boss's public relations method neither makes the company appear weak, nor is it scolded by netizens. Instead, it brings the whole topic to a relaxed and happy direction. And by the way, it also brings a wave of traffic to the company. Shaoyuki did not hide the surprise in his words. This kind of public relations behavior that kills four birds with one stone is unheard of even in his father's company. At the elevator door, Yang Ruoqian, who was confused, finally figured out a clue from the words of the employees. Public relations actions. Could it be that it brought a wave of traffic to the company? Exclamation mark. No way. Can even public relations have accidents now? Yang Ruoqian suddenly felt helpless, and he didn't even bother to explain to Chang Ziking, who was still confused. He rushed into the office and turned on his computer. It will be available tomorrow. Please pre-order. Chapter 95. Perfect crisis PR demonstrated by Mr. Yang. After turning on the computer, Yang Ruoqian eagerly opened the webpage and clicked on the previous comment. As expected, the official reply was quickly pushed to the top of the list and firmly occupied a prominent position on the first floor among all the comments. However, what Yang Ruoqian did not expect was that there was not a single insult from netizens in the comments. Most of them were teasing the two young lovers, or simply laughing. Why do the uphost and his girlfriend have wrong thoughts when they see this homepage? Do you two dare to show your browser records? Popular, 396,000 likes. The uploader thinks it's great. At UPLOADER. Why are you silent? Is it because you don't want to say anything? The uploader feels really bad. I guess you're regretting why you didn't use incognito browsing. Don't worry, the uploader has deleted the browsing history overnight and will take a screenshot and post the evidence to prove your innocence. The uploader originally wanted to expose this company, but didn't expect to expose himself. Hahaha. I went to check out the homepage of this company out of curiosity. To be honest, it's even more abstract than what the uploader said. There's a small game on their company's homepage. Have you played it? It's a bit too low quality, but I don't know why I'm so addicted to it. I went to play it too. 2 hours passed after I finished playing. It was a weird thing. Isn't that where your focus is? Why would a company's homepage be designed like this? The official should say something. Your ultimate asymmetrical web design makes me feel so uncomfortable. Can I design it for you? It's free. I just ask you to stop disgusting me. Now I dream about your crappy web page at night. Ugh. Whether it's the homepage or this reply, this company gives me the feeling that they are just showing off. I looked at the homepage of this company at home yesterday, and my parents who passed by saw it and beat me up. Well, I have a question. Why did your parents beat you up when they saw this kind of webpage? I flipped through the homepage of this company during class yesterday, and my head teacher called my parents and said that I was browsing an unhealthy website. It's the same question. How did your head teacher know that it was an unhealthy website? Good question. I suggest you ask your parents and teachers in person, and you will definitely get a surprise prize. I suggest you check out the latest updates posted by this upmaster. He himself is addicted to this little broken game and can't extricate himself. Yang Ruoqian flipped through these gloating comments one by one, and his mood became more complicated with each one he read. Where is the most basic sympathy of netizens? Don't you love to strike for justice and fight against the black-hearted bosses who bully the general public? Why are you all mocking the victims mercilessly and unrighteously now? Where is conscience? Where is the mentality of naturally substituting for the weak? Instead of condemning the lousy webpage, scolding the company that exploited its employees, or denouncing the arrogant PR, he made jokes in the comment section when he was free, and even called on everyone to play that crappy game together. Originally, Yang Ruoqian had hoped to use this public relations crisis to tarnish the company's image and balance out on Russia's skyrocketing fans. Now it seems that it is not a balance at all, but a two-pronged approach. The enthusiasm of all the anchors playing small games on the Shark platform just died down, and the other side picked up again. Moreover, the live broadcast platform at least only promoted it to the audience in the game area, but Bilibili was different. It directly gave a large wave of recommendations to all the user groups who were eating melons, and it was also a diversion for all the anchors under the company. Not only was the company's image not tarnished, but it made people feel more friendly. Where can Yang Ruoqian go to seek justice? He worked hard for a month, but the result was the opposite effect. Boss, what are you thinking about? Outside the office, Chang Ziking pushed the door open and walked in with an extremely dissatisfied tone. Why am I the last person in the company to know about this? Demonstrating perfect crisis public relations to employees. You are quite good at showing off in front of others. Yang Ruoqian secretly did everything by himself again, without saying a word to her. She was still worried about whether the company's image would plummet because of this, but it turned out that she had been worrying for nothing these days. Her landlord had just gained a lot of admiration in front of the employees, and he was very proud of it. Looking at the angry director, Yang Ruoqian felt bitter, but couldn't say anything. Not only are you the last person to know about this, I'm also. This year's audience and netizens don't play by the rules at all. Yang Ruoqian paused in front of the computer screen and said in a flat tone, you are busy with work and under a lot of pressure. Why do you care about public relations? I'm busy with work and under a lot of pressure. Chang Ziking was so angry that she laughed, bent down and looked into Yang Ruoqian's eyes and poked his heart with her finger. Do you dare to say this again with your conscience? If she could not manage her subordinates, Chang Ziking would have doubted what she was doing as a director. Ahem, isn't the salary going to be paid this month? Go and count it quickly. Yang Ruoqian immediately changed the subject to cover up his embarrassment. Some people's commission should be quite high this month. Can you calculate it? Chang Ziking snorted lightly. Who do you think I am? I just calculated it. Do you want me to send it to you? As a boss for so long, Yang Ruoqian actually only set the basic salary and commission plan in the contract, and he didn't have an accurate number of how much salary his employees could get in a month. So he became curious. Okay, let me see it. Chang Ziking propped herself up, took out her phone, and clicked twice. I've sent it to you. Take a look. All the data are after tax. Yang Ruoqian opened the document and made an OK gesture. Received. Gaonayan. Basic salary 9,600. Commission income 213,901. Seeing this data, Yang Ruoqian paused for a moment and did a simple calculation. The original salary was 8,000, and the company gave a 20% salary increase midway, so the basic salary became 9,600. No problem. The live broadcast platform, the guild and the anchor split the turnover at 40%, 20% and 40% respectively, which means that Gaonayan actually earns nearly 100,000 yuan in profit for the company every month. The other 3 anchors have different profit levels, but when added together, plus Huan Rush's advertising fee income, it is not a problem for the company to earn more than 700,000 yuan this month. It's normal for anchors to have a high income since their careers are short. Yang Ruoqian turned a page and focused on the salary slips of ordinary employees. Let's take a look at the salary levels of other people. Chang Ziking, basic salary 24,000. Performance income 30,000. Wen Lianji, basic salary 8,000. Commission 5,379.98. Xiaoyuki, basic salary 12,000. Wang Zikin, basic salary 12,000. Lu Shuilan, basic salary 9,600. Not bad, not bad. Earn more, and when you are financially independent, try to slack off more and work less in the company. The employees all reaped a lot of rewards, and Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but mutter in his heart, I wonder how much money I can make this month. Thinking of this, Yang Ruoqian opened the system panel. The profit sharing ratio mechanism is not that simple, but I won't make it too complicated for novels. Just 40%, 20%, 40%, which is simple and clear. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96, Sanjiang's Remarks. Thank you for your continued support. The author never thought that he would be able to be on Sanjiang one day. I bow to you here. The release date has been confirmed, which is around 12 noon on July 19th. The author will do his best to update. The minimum update on the day of release is 10,000. If the first order is more than 1,000, one more update will be added for every 100 more orders. One more update will be added for every 100 more monthly tickets. If the first order is not even 1,000, the author will not cut it. I finished the last book with an average order of 300. Don't read it, it's really rubbish. This book will be finished well no matter what, and refuse to enter the palace. I had heart pain yesterday, and went to the hospital. Fortunately, the doctor said it was neuralgia, not a heart problem. So, please give me a first order please. There will be updates. There is something I can't help but say. The author community is really warm, not as deceitful as many people think. At least I only feel the goodwill of other authors towards me. I'm just a newbie. I just joined the author group and I don't know anything. The big guys and seniors are really humble and support me crazily, without asking for anything in return. Among them, the big guys, including King Shinkwazu, Sister King not only gave me chapters, but also cared about my health. She was so gentle. I really wanted to cry. I'm so lucky to meet such a noble person in my life. Wu Maxing, Mayanai Wei, and Chunshan Fanai QD all supported me. I was really flattered. There are also Wu Miaoang Sinu, Tehu Boang, Mibuk, Shishudas Hangsidi, Chang Shengixon is really NND good looking, and other high quality big guys who patiently answered my various stupid questions. Don't add mango. The first order of 300 to nearly high quality, which made me insist on writing books. Ding Hua Fengchen, an 18-year-old female author with black silk stockings, with various pieces of paper of the seaside bedroom, bathroom, kitchen and park. When she heard that I might be Sen Jiang, she directly helped me attract readers in the fan group. I cried to death. And Wei Auxioao taught me a lot of introductory knowledge about Gideon. Thanks to everyone in the Ruoqian group and the editor in charge Tomo who taught me how to change the beginning. I have to praise this editor. He is extremely responsible. Extremely. And the former editors Wuxingju, Shanheiju and Fengaiju who taught me to choose the direction and subject matter. 4 editors serve me alone. I feel ashamed. And the mask who called me all night to determine the tone of the whole book. And my 2 operation officers, the most handsome Operation Gargamel and my good friend Dant. And the most important thing is you, my readers. I bow again. Kowtow is also okay. You are my parents who provide me with food and clothing. Thank you. Finally, I wish you all a happy life. I hope everyone joins a company like Kuiguang. I hope everyone can meet a boss like Yang Ruoqian and eat in the Kuiguang employee cafeteria every day. Chapter 97. It turns out that I'm the person with the lowest income in the whole company. Haha. Begging for the first order. At night, at home. Yang Ruoqian finished his dinner early, returned to his room, and sat alone on the sofa, speechless. In the morning at the company, Yang Ruoqian curiously glanced at the employees' salaries, and then curiously glanced at his bonus. 18-line artist training system. Host, Yang Ruoqian. The company currently has 4 artists, Gaonayan, Huang Rushi, Ruan Minor, Song Lixin. All of them are big names. The total bonus amount is 2,000 yuan. Rewards have been issued. Company funds 5,466,145.63, 1 million monthly quota, 2,000 star bonus. Company profit 684,019.01. Last month's surplus 3,780,126.62. Note, the monthly quota cannot be used to repay loans, and all company funds cannot be transferred to the host's personal account in any form. Congratulations to the host for training 4 artists. Get advanced prizes, super reimbursement coupons. The host company can purchase up to 8,000 square meters of company land, and the purchase cost and subsequent maintenance costs will be borne by the system. 3-stage expansion task. The host company has begun to take off. Please expand the company's scale to at least 60 people. Expand the company's floor area to at least 8,000 square meters, and let any anchor under it win a city level award or above. After the task is completed, the monthly quota issued by the system will be upgraded from 1 million per month to 5 million per month. Note, the organizer of the city level award must be an official, giant live broadcast platform or authoritative media, and while chicken awards will not be recognized. After reading all these things, Yang Ruoqian was not feeling well. Yang Ruoqian didn't care about the old-fashioned things like tasks. What he cared about most was his bonus 2,000. In the tens of minutes before the final settlement, with the strong support of the company's abstract homepage, the macho dance troupe and Song Lixin both completed their own breakthroughs. They all became big name anchors. Each of the 4 people provided Yang Ruoqian with a huge sum of 500 yuan, which added up to 2,000 yuan. What an amazing number. Who would dare to believe that Yang Ruoqian's income was the lowest in the whole company, even lower than those security guards and cleaners. I have been busy doing so many things this month, and in the end I only got 2,000 yuan. Yang Ruoqian looked at the notification of the arrival of the account on his mobile phone, and couldn't help the urge to complain. Even if I went to the factory to screw in the screws, it would be more than this, right? System, you are really not a human being. Didn't you see that Huang Rushi, this thick-browed and big-eyed man, would stab me in the back one after another? Are you worthy of my trust? Are you worthy of my strong cultivation of the studio? You just repay me with 500 yuan? Yang Ruoqian was so angry that his liver hurt. He thought he could replicate the success of last month this month and make another 5 million. But who would have thought that, let alone 5 million? He couldn't even make 5,000 yuan. Dogmatism kills people. This is a painful lesson. Yang Ruoqian rubbed his forehead. What should I do next month? Anyway, I must change my mindset. After thinking hard for a while, Yang Ruoqian suddenly slapped his thigh. Why should I do things so carefully? I just throw the general requirements to the employees and let them find the anchor according to the requirements, right? These requirements should be ambiguous and strange enough, and it is better to have some contradictions between them. In this way, the employees who receive the order will inevitably be confused. The order is not clear, the execution is not in place, the positioning is not clear, and the needs are not understood. The company is in chaos. The anchors recruited in this way will definitely have no future. As a boss, with so many employees under him, he really shouldn't even do things like recruiting himself. It's just right. Let the employees worry about recruiting, and I'll take this opportunity to see how to complete this expansion task. Monday, at work. In the office, the employees who received their salaries were extremely excited and showed off their salary slips. The company does not prohibit employees from exchanging information about their salary and benefits with each other. So over the past few months, showing each other their salary slips has become a way for employees to communicate with each other. When Lion G, why is your commission so high? It's okay, I'm not envious. My basic salary is high. Uncle Chef, how much is your salary? Dude, why was 200 yuan deducted from you? Don't say it. The day before yesterday afternoon, I saw that there was not much work left, so I wanted to secretly work overtime for 2 minutes to finish it, but I was caught by President Yang, alas. Secretly working overtime? In the company? You are really brave. Speaking of President Yang, how much do you think President Yang earns a month? Look at how generous President Yang is in giving us benefits and paying us salaries, at least $1 million a month. With President Yang's ability, I'm convinced that he deserves so much money. Anyway, he must be the one who gets the most. The whole company belongs to President Yang. President Yang is estimated to have a net worth of 20 million now. Envy. What are you envious of? Do you have President Yang's ability? If not, just take your salary honestly. This was the conversation that Yang Ruoqian heard when he just entered the company's door. At least 1 million a month. A big boss worth 20 million. Haha, these employees probably never dreamed that not only did they not have 20 million, but they even only got 2,000 last month. Even the security guards or cleaners in the company get higher salaries than the boss Yang Ruoqian, much higher. As a boss, he actually gets less than his employees. Ahem. Yang Ruoqian got angrier and angrier as he thought about it, and he coughed twice, interrupting the heated discussion among the employees. Good morning, Mr. Yang. Morning, Mr. Yang. In the new month, I announce that the company will make major adjustments in certain aspects. Yang Ruoqian took a deep breath. Operation Wengzikin. Wengzikin stood up, his face full of sternness. Mr. Yang, be ready at any time. You have been with me for several months, and now it's time to learn to be independent. From now on, I will give you full authority over the affairs of the guild's operation of the anchors. I hope you won't let me down. Yang Ruoqian's voice was not loud, but very steady. Full authority? Am I a master? Mr. Yang completely recognizes me? Wengzikin was excited. I promise not to disappoint the boss's expectations. I promise not to disappoint the company's trust. No, it's better if you disappoint. Yang Ruoqian complained in his heart, and then said, Agent Wen Lianji. When Lianji stood up, what do you want, Mr. Yang? From now on, the matter of recruiting anchors will be handed over to you. In the future, I will only give you a direction and simple requirements. As for the specific person, discuss it with Shaoyiki and Wengzikin. Yang Ruoqian issued the order, while secretly admiring his own intelligence. This is 3 monks have no water to drink. When Yang Ruoqian put an ambiguous request in front of 3 different people, the interpretations of these 3 people will definitely be very different, and no one can convince anyone. The efficiency will definitely be seriously slowed down. Wengzikin, who did not realize the seriousness of the matter, was also very excited. Yes, Mr. Yang. Very good. 2 people fell into the pit. Yang Ruoqian nodded and continued to arrange his employees. Ruoqian. Transfer to the Human Resources Department to work as ours temporarily. The salary will be increased by 20%. The company temporarily needs to recruit 2 more receptionists. You will be responsible for the management. Ruoqian, the receptionist who was promoted and given a pay raise after only working for a few months, was overjoyed. I will guarantee to complete your task. You are responsible for this. And you will assist him in the future. Lawyer Ding, Director Chang, come with me. After arranging the personnel, Yang Ruoqian turned around and left the company, saying goodbye to everyone. Then the company is handed over to you. I have to go discuss a more important project. Bye. Chapter 98. In principle, please order first, please. Shengjing Heian, luxurious conference room. Boss Yang, please enjoy your meal. Manager Liu enthusiastically poured tea for Yang Ruoqian and confirmed again. You want to buy the entire 24th floor, right? If the flattery last time was a bit against one's will, this time Manager Liu was left with only doubts. What kind of business is this Boss Yang in? 5 months ago, he could only rent 400 square meters, and 2 months ago, he could only rent 1 floor. Now he has the money to buy it directly? Exclamation mark. Yang Ruoqian wore a suit carefully selected for him by Chang Ziking, and his temperament was extraordinary, which made Manager Liu more afraid to neglect him. When they met last time, Boss Yang was still very low-key, but this time, the whole person almost changed his style. High-end, low-key and generous. Such a change happened in just 2 months, and it must be a big money. A company that buys a whole floor of high-end office buildings without affecting cash flow will have a monthly income of at least 20 million. If you can buy a floor today, can you buy the whole building next year? This Mr. Yang might even become his boss in the future. Although the possibility is not high, it won't hurt to flatter him now. If it comes true, it will be a profitable investment with no investment. Thinking of this, Manager Liu smiled even more brightly. Mr. Yang, then, can I talk to you about the contract? Yang Ruoqian took out a high-end fountain pen from his briefcase and handed it to Ding Daoyi next to him. You can discuss the details of the contract with my lawyer. After that, he picked up a brochure of the office building on the table and read it by himself. Manager Liu said yes repeatedly, took out a thick contract, and handed it to Ding Daoyi who was sitting next to him. Take a look. While the two were carefully studying the contents of the contract, Yang Ruoqian quickly browsed the introduction of the entire high-end office building. Even if the 24th floor was purchased as a whole, it would only be 3,000 square meters, which was 5,000 square meters short of the 8,000 square meters reimbursement quota given by the system. Yang Ruoqian still had to find a suitable project to use up the remaining quota. But now the company's various entertainment projects are full. How to use the remaining 5,000 square meters? What do you think our company is still missing? Yang Ruoqian flipped through the introduction page by page and was at a loss for a moment and asked Chang Ziking beside him. Chang Ziking had always suspected that she was pulled here to make up the numbers, and when she was suddenly asked a question, her mind was still not turning. Now there should be nothing missing, right? At present, the company has only 4 anchors, but the area is as large as 3,000 square meters. Even if the massage room, employee cafeteria, entertainment room and so on are all added, the office area is too much and unusually empty. There are many extra things, and Chang Ziking can't think of what is missing for the time being. In Chang Ziking's view, buying a whole building is a superfluous thing. Seeing that his director has this attitude, Yang Ruoqian didn't ask any more questions and continued to flip through the introduction in his hand. Finally, when he turned to the last page, Yang Ruoqian's eyes suddenly lit up. The manual clearly stated that there was an indoor heated swimming pool on the top floor of the office building, and the floor area is just about 5,000 square meters. At this time, Ding Daoyi and Manager Liu have basically finalized the contract. Boss Yang, I've read the contract, no problem. Ding Daoyi handed the contract to Yang Ruoqian and said. Yang Ruoqian took the contract and flipped through it casually without reading it carefully. His mind was completely attracted by the swimming pool on the top floor. Sign it if there is no problem. Yang Ruoqian handed the contract back and turned to look at Manager Liu. Manager Liu, I just saw the introduction of your office building, saying that there is a heated swimming pool on the roof. Hearing the big consultant ask such a question, Manager Liu's heart stomped. What's the situation? Such a big boss didn't know that there was a swimming pool on the roof of the office building? Did he not care, or did they not notify them enough? Is he blaming the office building for not notifying them enough? But no matter which case it is, considering that the other party is a big money sponsor, just apologize directly. Mr. Yang, I'm sorry. We didn't notify you enough. Manager Liu stood up and bowed, apologizing repeatedly. How about this? I'll issue you 50.100 membership cards, and you can use the swimming pool and the fitness facilities in the swimming pool for free for 5 years. How about that? In fact, although the swimming pool on the top floor is luxurious, the utilization rate is not high. Most customers don't have the time or interest to swim, and the maintenance cost is not low. However, in order to maintain the face of a high-end office building, it is necessary to create a gimmick, build a constant temperature swimming pool, and build a well-equipped gym. Not to mention how many people will really come to swim in the end for a Kuiguang company. Even if all their employees come, the entrance fee collected is a drop in the bucket compared to the maintenance fee. It's better to do a favor. No, you're wrong, Manager Liu. Yang Ruoqian took back the pen and put it in his pocket. I'm very interested in your constant temperature swimming pool and want to buy it too. Ding Daoie, Chang Ziking and Manager Liu were all stunned. Buy a swimming pool! Exclamation mark. Manager Liu felt that his brain was not enough for a moment. He thought that Boss Yang wanted to give some benefits to the company's employees, such as fitness cards, but he didn't expect that the other party actually wanted to buy the entire swimming pool. Boss Yang, are you sure you are not kidding? Manager Liu wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. The price of the swimming pool itself, and the subsequent maintenance costs, are not low. Even though he knew that the other party had amazing financial resources, he deliberately emphasized the word not low. Chang Ziking turned his head to look at Yang Ruoqian, shook his head very slightly but very frequently, and advised with all his strength, Boss, why don't we think twice? Why do we buy a swimming pool? It's not impossible to rent it when needed. Yang Ruoqian looked at the shocked three people and secretly felt lucky in his heart that there was a system to help cover up the rationality of the company's funding source. Otherwise the revenue of the 4 anchors would be used to buy a swimming pool. Even a fool could see the problem. We will consider the price. Yang Ruoqian ignored Chang Ziking's protest and said in a calm voice, just bring out the contract. Just bring out the contract. So arrogant. However, this swimming pool is certainly a money-losing item and may not be sold. Manager Liu cannot make the decision, yet he must consult his superiors before making a final decision. Thinking of this, he picked up his mobile phone, winked at his assistant, and then smiled in a tone of excuse. Have a cup of tea, all of you. Wait a moment, I need to consult the leader on this matter. After a few minutes, he walked in from outside the living room. Mr. Yang, the leader said that in principle this swimming pool cannot be sold. Yang Ruoqian frowned, feeling a little disappointed. If he can't buy the swimming pool, what project should he use to fool around with the 5,000 square meters of land? At this time, Chang Ziking suddenly leaned over and blew a faint breath into Yang Ruoqian's ears. Boss, in principle not to sell means that it can be sold, but you have to pay more. Chapter 99. Let's just have a fitness package. Please subscribe. In principle, not selling means selling. Yang Ruoqian's mouth twitched, and he couldn't help but sigh at the profoundness of Chinese. Manager Liu's meaning was that it was not that he didn't want to sell it, but that he wanted to sell it for more money. Shengjing Haoyuan's mentality was understandable. A swimming pool opened in such a place would basically have no outside guests, and the source of customers could only be people inside the office building. Over the years, this luxurious swimming pool must have lost a lot of money. If it was sold at a loss, the performance of Manager Liu and his leaders would definitely be recorded as a very ugly record. It would be better to leave it there as a mascot. Anyway, the value of the gimmick effect is difficult to quantify. As long as it is not sold, it will not lose money. And now someone wants to buy it. At least there should be no loss on the books. Otherwise the swimming pool would rather be left there to lose money and spend high maintenance fees every month and resolutely not sell it to stop the loss. So sometimes the interests of the company, the interests of the manager and the interests of the shareholders are not completely consistent. Yang Ruoqian, who has been a boss for 10 years, thought for a few seconds and sorted out the logic. As long as the other party does not ask for too much, Yang Ruoqian, who has the system to reimburse, does not mind the workers raising the price in order to maintain performance. As for the high maintenance fee, it is nothing to Yang Ruoqian. Anyway, the system said that the subsequent costs will be borne together. Okay. After Yang Ruoqian figured it out, he nodded generously. It's the same as before. You draft the contract and show it to lawyer Ding after it's ready. Manager Liu smiled happily. Okay. But it will take some time to draft this new contract. You are busy every day. Why don't you go back to the company first, and we will send it to you after it's ready. No wonder Manager Liu is so excited. Good guy. In this way, the indoor heated swimming pool, which was originally a face-saving project, was thrown out. Not only did it not lose money, but it also made some money. More importantly, it got back a lot of cash flow. In addition to the entire floor that was just sold, his hands are numb from the commission this month. Since Mr. Yang came to Shengjing, his life has been getting better and better. Mr. Yang is really a noble person in his life. Yang Ruoqian had completed the task of expanding the company and did not want to stay any longer. He stood up and said politely, "Then it's a pleasure to work with you." Manager Liu hurriedly left his seat, ran to Yang Ruoqian, and opened the door of the conference room for him. Hey, good. Mr. Yang, take care. Zioi, go and see Mr. Yang off. After bidding farewell to Manager Liu, who was seeing them off attentively, the three of them stepped into the elevator back to the company. Chang Ziking couldn't help but complain, so she took out her phone and sent a message. Why did you buy a swimming pool? Do you plan to open the swimming pool to the public, or only to our company employees? Yang Ruoqian was looking at his phone, and when he saw the girl's question, he did not respond immediately. His purpose of buying a swimming pool was just to make the company's site reach the 8,000 square meters required by the system, and to hire more employees such as lifeguards, cleaners, and maintenance workers who were not related to the company's main business, and to forcibly complete the expansion task requirements required by the system. It is absolutely impossible to expect the company to hire some professional operations and professional publicity. The current business level of the three lively guys often hindered Yang Ruoqian's plan to deceive people. So what if a few more people came? Yang Ruoqian, whose focus was not on the swimming pool at all, had never really thought about whether to open the swimming pool to the public or only to employees. If it was to be opened only to employees for free, this kind of charity that would never make a profit would be completely unreasonable in logic. Not to mention fooling Chang Ziking, it would not even be possible to fool children. It's really troublesome. I can only say that it will be open to the public. Yang Ruoqian sighed in his heart, but he didn't worry too much. Anyway, no one would come to the swimming pool in this damn place, so there was not much difference between opening it to the public and opening it only to employees. Opening the swimming pool to the public can also be regarded as an investment. Even if not many people come in the end, the worst that can happen is that the investment fails. Who doesn't have to fail sometimes? No. Don't be careless. After experiencing several unexpected successes, Yang Ruoqian is now very sensitive to the word failure. Young people nowadays are so bored that they have to check the company homepage and play those crappy little games. Maybe someone will just be bored and come to the company's swimming pool to clock in. Now that the Kuiguang group has gained a certain degree of popularity, this is not impossible. When the time comes, take a photo, post it on various social platforms, add some filters, and Photoshop the picture. It is not impossible to go viral on the entire internet. If such a thing happens, the already difficult 18th tier artist training program will be even worse. Yang Ruoqian, who always succeeds inexplicably with various strange angles, has a bit of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, about success. There is no way. It is too difficult to fail once. Any chance of success must be eliminated. It is said to be open to the outside world, but the price must be set as high as possible without violating the law, to dissuade all bored internet celebrities who want to clock in at the company. After Yang Ruoqian thought of a solution, he opened the keyboard and sent a reply to Chang Ziking. It must be open to everyone, but employees are free, and social personnel have to pay. Chang Ziking breathed a sigh of relief after receiving the reply. It seems that the boss is not that ridiculous. Maybe he saw the potential of the fitness business? But isn't the boss doing business in the anchor circle? Why did he suddenly focus on fitness? After a little thought, Chang Ziking figured it out. His boss must be paving the way for the live broadcast content of the anchor in the future. In this way, the company can expand its business in the fitness direction and provide a live broadcast venue for the next anchor. After the anchor becomes famous here, the popularity of the swimming pool will surely rise. So more people will come here to drive the swimming pool business, which will further drive the fame of the anchor. In this way, both parties can achieve each other and enter a virtuous circle. High, really high. Chang Ziking was amazed at Yang Ruoqian's planning ability and ambition, and couldn't wait to type and asked, "Boss, what kind of pricing do you plan to set?" Yang Ruoqian did not hesitate. The company's swimming pool is luxurious and the service is in place, so we must take the high-end route. I agree, but how to make it high-end? Yang Ruoqian sent a long string of messages. We have all kinds of fitness equipment, constant temperature swimming pools, hydrotherapy pools, ice baths, hot spring pools, and we hire a few fitness coaches of different genders. It's open 24/7 all year round. A daily pricing of 400 yuan is not too much, right? Chang Ziking thought about the operating costs and felt that there was really no problem, so she replied, "Not too much." Yang Ruoqian continued to type messages. We have a membership card system like other fitness clubs. Assuming that each member comes twice a week, we should charge 42,000 yuan a year. We will launch a 3-year membership card and price it at 126,000 yuan. Is that okay? Chapter 100. Assigning tasks to highlight a riddle man. Please subscribe. A one-time payment package of nearly 130,000 yuan. Chang Ziking was stunned, but she was not surprised. This kind of flagship package is usually used as a decoration to highlight the company's high-end positioning. There is such an expensive, long-term, full-item bundled sales package. Naturally, there should be other cheaper packages, but the items are not complete, the time is not long, or simply charged by the time. So she typed and asked, "What else? What about other package plans?" Yang Ruoqian answered quickly, "Our swimming pool is famous for its high-end. There is no other, just this one package. Any additional cheaper package is an insult to the word high-end, and it is a blasphemy to high-end. Social personnel want to come to swim, yes, just pay a membership fee of 126,000 yuan first." Yang Ruoqian doesn't believe that there will be any suckers who will spend 126,000 yuan at one time just to swim. Those who can't afford this money will not come to the company's swimming pool. Those who can afford this money have their own private swimming pool at home, or at least a fixed fitness venue. In short, this is a very embarrassing pricing, which is neither too high nor too low, and it can't capture any consumer group. And maybe, such a terrible pricing will attract unanimous condemnation from netizens and tarnish the company's image. Another good plan to kill two birds with one stone. Chang Ziking looked at the message sent by Yang Ruoqian, and her mind was disconnected again. There are no other packages. In other words, the entire swimming pool only has this 126,000 ultimate bundle gift package? Exclamation mark. How rich and sick a person must be to spend 126,000 to swim at one time. It seems that, as long as you exercise more than twice a week, you can get your money back in 3 years. But the problem is that most young people nowadays want to exercise on a whim, or they pose for show, and there are very few people who can really stick to it. If you can't stick to it for 1 or 2 months, won't the rest of the money be wasted? This membership card is a 3-year card, not a number card. Ding. The elevator didn't give Chang Ziking a chance to dissuade Yang Ruoqian, and arrived at the 24th floor. As soon as Yang Ruoqian left the elevator, he saw the employees working hard and shouted, "Everyone, look here. We are going to announce an important decision." Seeing that everyone quickly put down their work, Yang Ruoqian nodded with satisfaction and said, recently, I found that everyone's body has gradually entered a sub-healthy state because of too much work and too good food. This is not good for your health. Think about it, working hard to earn money for a lifetime and giving it all to the hospital when you are old. How sad is this? The body is the capital of work. If you don't take good care of your body, how can you do a good job? After filling the employees with a lot of chicken soup that no one would believe, Yang Ruoqian finally got to the point. So, for the sake of your health, and for the sake of everyone's work efficiency, the company bought the heated swimming pool on the top of the office building. Here, everyone is required to take out 1 hour of work time every week, leave their workstations, walk around, and stretch their muscles. The swimming pool and the gym are open to all employees for free. As for the small gym on the 24th floor, it was demolished and used as an extension of the office area. Listening to Mr. Yang's impassioned speech, the first reaction of all employees was not that the company could actually spend a huge amount of money to buy a constant temperature swimming pool. This, one less hour of working time in a week. Then, they realized that Mr. Yang bought the constant temperature swimming pool on the roof of the office building. How much did he spend? Mr. Yang had this money, but he didn't buy himself a car or a big villa, but bought a swimming pool for employees to use for free! Exclamation mark. Other bosses want to squeeze every penny from their employees and want to use chicken soup to make employees work hard just to make their own savings more. But Mr. Yang, there are team building, shopping carts, and massage rooms. Now he even bought a swimming pool for the employees' retirement life. All these behaviors made the employees suddenly feel that they are really working for themselves, not for the boss. Other companies ask you to treat the company as your home just for fun. Kuiguang Group really doesn't treat employees as outsiders. The only bad thing is that Mr. Yang is always like an old father, caring about the health of employees here, urging employees to pay more attention, to rest instead of work there. He will deduct pocket money, wages if they work a little harder. Song Lixin, a veteran in the workplace, watched this scene and was so excited that tears were about to fall. This is a team of young people. This is a company that is full of vitality all the time. Compared with the lifeless and stagnant TV station, the atmosphere inside Kuiguang Company is obviously much better, whether it is the leaders or the employees. Seeing that no one expressed a different opinion, Yang Ruoqian nodded with satisfaction. Now the company has too many facilities, and it is inconvenient to use meal cards, massage cards and fitness cards separately. Tomorrow, the new card will be distributed to everyone. Remember to keep it properly. Any other questions? When Lion Ji stood up, raised his hand, and called Yang Ruoqian, "Boss Yang, I have a question." Yang Ruoqian, who had already run to the door of the office, sighed slightly in his heart and asked, "What's the problem?" "Boss Yang, I think our current 4 anchors are very stable, and we can recruit new anchors. Do you have any instructions?" The agent girl saw her boss showing off his skills last month, and she was really itching. Boss Yang always chooses the anchors in the company. This month, it should be handed over to his subordinates to do it once, right? It just so happened that Yang Ruoqian already had the idea of giving ambiguous orders and letting employees do reading comprehension themselves to cause disagreements among them. Before taking action, Yang Ruoqian still took one last insurance. "Do you want to recruit an anchor yourself this time? Are you confident?" "Boss Yang, to be honest, I don't have much confidence." When Lion Ji was not afraid to tell the truth in front of the boss, she smiled flatteringly. "Hey, can you give me a general direction?" "But, just what I want." Yang Ruoqian was afraid that the employees would cooperate too closely and that they would be too afraid of failure and play the safe card, so he emphasized, "After the general direction is determined, you must communicate more with operations and publicity and even other anchors and fully absorb everyone's opinions before making a decision. Well, feel free to do it boldly. Failure is not terrible, but fear of failure is terrible." After drinking the chicken soup, Yang Ruoqian complained in his heart, "Failure is not terrible, but success is terrible." When Lion Ji, who was authorized by the boss, was very happy. "Boss Yang, you say, you instruct." Yang Ruoqian thought for a while and said, "What profession is both liked and hated?" Well, if you have any other questions, you can ask Boss Chang. After speaking, Yang Ruoqian hid in the office. Even he himself didn't know what this sentence meant. It was up to fate whether the employees could understand it. As a result, the office was left with confused employees, and the operations director Chang Ziking was stunned. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.